Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today at the regular Dearborn Heights City Council, where the council is being called to order at 6:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll call?
Yes, Hassan Ahmad.
Present.
Mo Bejun.
Here.
Nancy Breyer.
Here.
Robert Constant.
Present.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell.
Here.
Hassan Saab.
Present.
And Tom Wenzel is absent. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Next up is the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to ask both of our judges to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next up, we have the agenda approval.
Council Chair.
Before we move forward, I want you to know that there are some add-ons that are being walked on, so.
Yeah, this is listed here.
Yep, okay, go ahead. Hang on 1 second. My bad, Angela Aman. Go ahead, Councilman.
Council Chair, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda for the regular meeting of December 10th, 2024 as submitted with the addition of the following. Item 9K from Councilman Saab, American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Funds Allocation Vehicles. Item 9L from IT Director Cooper, Dewey Hardware, Token Funding Modification. Item 11B from Library Director McCaffrey, Caroline Kennedy Library Room Dedication Resolution. Claim 6-40 is that money code for $3,241.63 for annual ordinance codification.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion on this?
We're going to add on the MEPEC resolution also.
Do you have a resolution? Are you amending anything to
Library
the
Director
agenda?
does.
Yes, I want to remove,
Hold on, let the councilman finish first. Councilman Constant?
And add the resolution regarding the library and longtime library advisory board member MEPEC.
it's on here.
That's 11B.
Yeah, it was added, Councilman. It was
Okay,
That's
we're all set.
11B.
11B from Director McCaffrey.
Council Chair,
Councilman Saab.
I'd like to remove 9F from the agenda,
What is 9F, sir?
the marquee sign for Canfield.
Removal of 9F with the add-on of 9K, 9LLB, and 6-40 for $3,241. Councilman Ahmad, do you want to amend your motion?
I go ahead and amend my motion by removing 9F.
Councilman Saab, do you amend to second your motion?
I meant to second. motion.
Any other discussion on this, the removal of 9F and adding on the 5 other items? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes.
Council Chair,
Go ahead, Councilman
I
Saab.
move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the special meeting of November 26, 24 as submitted.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have minutes of the regular meeting of November 26, 2024.
Council Chair,
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the regular meeting of November 26, 2024 as submitted.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is public hearings and public comments on either agenda items or anything you wish to speak on. You have 2 minutes. Some of you in this room here have asked for 3. But before we do so, I'm going to give the floor to our Director McCaffrey. I know it's before public comment.
I was gonna speak on the comment. I was gonna speak a public, can I do a public comment?
You're gonna do your if you want to do the presentation first and then, or did we already walk it on? I'm sorry.
We walked it on.
I'm sorry.
It was
Yes,
walked on.
you're gonna speak it on public comments.
Yes, I was
Yep,
gonna
go
make it
ahead.
out. Okay. So I wanted to comment as a local resident. My name is Michael McCaffrey, Roosevelt Street, on 11B. I wanted to talk about Ray and Emmy Peck. So for over 40 years, Emmy and Ray Peck have exemplified what it means to serve community. Through their service and the Friends, they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars bit by bit year by year, book by book, through book sales, running a library bookshop, and selling to vendors. They have served on the advisory board for over 20 years, helping guide and advise the library on issues the library needs to address, and championing the cause of literacy and education in Dearborn Heights. They helped design the buildings we have today, resolve a financial crisis, and steer through a pandemic. I can only hope that after a similar amount of time in my community, I serve with the grace, dedication, and devotion they have shown Dearborn Heights and Dearborn Heights Library. In recognition for their tireless service, I propose that we name one of our study rooms, currently Study Room 2, the Emmy and Ray Preck Meeting Room in their honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Are you speaking as the Director for Parks and Recs, or are you speaking as a resident?
I'm speaking as the Director of Parks and
ma'am.
Recreation. This is about 9F. I'm urging you to vote to approve it. The project has not moved forward due to this, and we have got a signed contract. I'm fearful that we're going to lose the funding for this. The funding is available until spring, and then after that, we cannot get any more amendments. So I'm really concerned about that with my looming retirement and also the end of the contract that we're going to lose $44,000. So hopefully I can count on your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you know, I want to go to Zoom next, and then we'll finish, since we have a large crowd. Let's take out everybody on Zoom first, yes. So if anybody on Zoom has anything regarding public hearing and public comments, we're going to address you first. It's very unlikely that we have this many people in the audience. Some people are popular tonight. How you doing, sir? You have an additional minute. Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Good evening, Dana Parrish, Grinley Park Street, Dearborn Heights. Wanted to address a few issues. One is 11A, the appointment of a possible treasurer administrator. It's for about a $91,000 a year position. I would strongly support the council vote no on this resolution. Absolutely not. We just went through a lengthy process on budget approval. We do not need another administrator. I understand the treasurer may need help, but now is not the time, especially when we're trying to tighten our fiscal budgets here. $91,000 for another administrator is not warranted. I want to address another issue since we have the judges here. One is I was extremely disappointed during the hearing that we had for ordinance and blight. You, council chair, invited them to show up to that meeting, and neither of them thought it was worthy of them to show up and didn't give you a reason. I think that's disgusting. They are voted on just like every other voted official. Absolutely no reason why they couldn't be here. Last thing is we have people that are talking about First Amendment right to speak, First Amendment right to speak. Yes, we do have a First Amendment right to speak, but there are speeches, there are parts of speech that are not protected under the First Amendment. And they are obscenity, defamation, fraud, incitement, fighting words, truth threats, speech integral to criminal conduct, child sexual abuse material. All those things are not protected under the First Amendment. Council Chair, there's been, let's just say, a person who's been threatening, who's been making accusations about people who are employees in the city, and I take that extremely seriously. And this person has been saying, First Amendment, First Amendment. Well, they do have a First Amendment right to speak, and I served in my country during wartime to support that. But you also have the right, sir, as a council chair, to protect those people who come to your meetings to not be subject to that kinds of behavior also. You're the one who enforces the rules, sir. And if you tell someone they're not welcome because of that behavior, you're the one that's to protect the people there and the employees of the city of Dearborn Heights. It's your responsibility. The police department can't throw people out. You can. I take it very seriously, sir, that there is someone, I think we all know who that someone is, who's done that on more than one
Hey,
occasion.
nothing from the audience, please. Thank you, Mr. Parrish. Your time is up.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good evening to everyone.
You too. Next up, we have Barbara Renners. You and I stated your name.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Hi,
You have
Barbara
2
Rennie.
minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Barbara Rennie, Detroit Street, Dearborn Heights. First of all, happy holidays to everyone. My question is about the Airbnbs. We're going on 7 months now. What is the status? What are we doing about them? And when are we getting rid of them? If anybody can answer me.
This is a great question. I know that this is, one of our residents just brought this up at the last meeting. It's supposed to come before the council. I can tell you that a representative from Airbnb has already reached out to me and wanting to have a discussion, in which I'm having a sit-down with them on Tuesday of next week. But I've let them know that I am 100% opposing of Airbnbs in the city of Dearborn Heights because, one, it's a business, and two, we're a bedroom community. So I can only speak for myself, but I'm still going to go ahead and speak with this resident and take their call and actually, or not resident, but speak with their representative from Airbnb.
Okay.
As
I
far
just
as
wanted
what the
to-
administration is doing on their end, I know Roger said he was still working on it. I believe he said he was supposed to propose something. It went before the planning commission. The council turned it down. I think this body has already stated its thoughts on it and how they feel. I think a lot of the residents have also stated their thoughts on this. So it's really on what the administration proposes before this body.
I think, Council Chair, with your permission,
Roger.
if we can join you with that meeting at Airbnb, and then we can get a better handle on exactly, I know we have 304 in the city, and we have other short-term rentals as well. So we can be part of that meeting. Maybe we can come to some kind of analysis so we can present to the council an organized plan and get the feedback, maybe a study session on what we want to do. Are we talking about removing 304, canceling 304 Airbnbs currently in place in the city of Dearborn Heights? Then I follow your direction, so you guide me what you want to do.
Amazing. You're going to follow our direction. Well, I can tell you right now, those 304 people that are registered their Airbnbs in Dearborn Heights, there's currently not a law, so therefore it's already been illegal. So technically, the 304 people that are acting on their own and recklessly are acting in a way that Dearborn Heights says, well, we don't have any type of resolution that allows you to have Airbnbs or short-term rentals. Why are they still doing it?
I think that's a good segue to start the meeting when we meet with them next.
Yeah.
When you set it up.
You can join me in that meeting if you'd like.
Thank you, sir.
As long as you're buying, you can join us.
Of course.
What about us?
I mean, anything over 3 would be considered a quorum.
I know,
so.
I'm just teasing.
But I will give you guys cliff notes. Next up, anyone else
Wait,
on
I
Zoom?
wasn't done. I wasn't
Oh, I'm
done.
sorry. You still have a minute and 39 seconds. I'm sorry, Barb.
Okay, I just want to say, once we come up with a letter, a notice, or anything like that, I will donate my time and energy and come up to the city, and I will type them all out for you, so you don't have to have anybody else do it. I'll do a fill-in-the-blank thing, but just to get this going, because, like I said, 7 months is a long time with having crap neighbors all the time next door. I'm done. So, happy holidays, everybody, and I hope things go well on Tuesday.
Thank you, Barb. We all share your frustration.
Thank you.
Anyone else on Zoom? Please mute her, Madam Clerk. Anyone else on Zoom? We're going to move it over to the public next. So you asked for an additional minute?
Yes, I
Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
on. Dearborn. Mr. Chair, good afternoon today. How y'all doing? I'd like to talk about 9A. 9A does not come from the general fund. That's something you guys should know. There's about 800,000 probably in that fund over there. So it doesn't hurt to sit there and approve it. She needs help. She needs help. One person cannot handle the treasure. There has to be 2 people. One working, one monitoring. This is ridiculous. You can't. You cannot sit here and just tell somebody we're not going to sit there and give. It's not coming from the general fund. First of all, I can criticize a public official. Just to tell the gentleman, he wants to phrase it to me. I already know he's attacking me. It's no problem.
Not talking about public
I'm going to tell
officials.
you something. Hold on, let me finish. Good news, bad news, all good publicity. Thank you for recognizing me. That's number one. Number two, make sure you mention my name, Hassan Ayun. I'm not worried about it. I love it. You know why do I love it? Because he's recognizing me, that I'm making noise. And when I make noise, people look at me like, oh, I'm a boss. No, I'm not trying to be the boss. I just want transparency. Something that's called the First Amendment right. In East Point, there was a lawsuit filed. They settled it, and they said you can criticize a public official. Look it up. Supreme Court have overturned a lot of decisions. But censoring speech in Dearborn, they love it. And I told you that 100 times. Dearborn wants to censor your speech when you're right. They don't want you to speak because the problem that we're having is I'm getting criticized, and I love it. I love this publicity. Council Chair, this is the best day I ever had. Somebody recognized me. That means I'm doing a great job, that people are going to listen. So, but there's one thing that was said last time, and you know what transparency and obligations. So as a council, you have an obligation for the residents. It happened in the city of Taylor, and the Taylor mayor got indicted because of a resident here today. He was the one that put this individual in prison. I'm not going to mention the individual's name. He used to go to Dearborn every time for years. This gentleman, his eyes is on this city. One little mistake you guys do, he knows where to contact. It's called Washington. Great president's going to take over the 20th. And hey, you never know what happens then. So I just encourage you guys, before you make a decision, something is warranted, just do the right thing. If you know what I mean.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Indirectly, I'm speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Owen. Ma'am, are you speaking as a clerk? The treasurer, or are you speaking as a resident?
I could try to be the clerk. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Good evening, honorable council member and members of the community.
You're speaking as a
I'm
treasurer?
speaking as a treasurer.
Thank you.
Okay. So going to, and I think what Mr. Ayin was referring to was item 11A, the resolution for this position. And I did want to clarify and make sure we have all the facts straight. Very important. This position is needed, and I can give you some examples here. But first I want to say, as the city continues to change, so does our internal operations. So we always have to assess, reassess, and change with it. We've really worked to do that. When I came into this office in 2020, I had to write all of the internal control policies and procedures, all of our policies and procedures in general, because they weren't documented. It just wasn't a thing. It takes a lot of time, but not only am I doing administrative functions, I'm also doing daily operational functions as far as wire transfers, payroll, things like that. So that's why I'm asking for some assistance, in particular somebody who does have government experience, municipal experience, and treasury experience. Regarding the cost, this is not, and this is what I really want to stress to our residents right now, this is not an increase to taxes nor water rates. Okay, this is already existing, but not appropriately appropriated, if you would, in your budget. The city council levies a 1% admin fee every year on your tax bills. Look at your tax bills at the bottom. That brings in approximately, I'm going to round numbers, $970,000. Now that is restricted. It can only be used for tax-related purposes. The assessor's office accounts for $360,000 of it approximately. Board of Review reviews taxes, right, for people, their assessed value, $4,000. The Treasurer's Office, and I did extensive study and reported this to the comptroller about 3 years ago, appropriations, we should be appropriating our time and our money for payroll. About 30% to 40% of our time is water related. You've got another 20% or so that's general fund.
Madam Treasurer, I'm going to give you 30 more
Okay,
seconds.
and tax.
discuss it more
I
when
really
it
want to drive this home, though. This is really important,
30 more
folks.
seconds, we'll discuss it when it gets brought up.
Let me get down to this, because I didn't know if you were going to let me speak later. But for the treasurer's office, let's do a soft number of $400,000. That leaves $200,000 of that $970,000 that's not appropriated. We do not see it as an expenditure line item in the budget. What happens to that money? That's what we're talking about for this position, so I want people to know that. There are other things, but I won't go into it, but I will tell you one such example of what I'm looking to do, and I will share this. I only have so many copies. Would you pass this around, please?
Madam Treasurer, we can discuss this when this gets brought up, and I will give you time to speak.
May I
about
just
this.
finish this one thought, please,
But if
sir?
we're having to send this all over, it's also not fair to others that want to speak.
We'll pass it around here, too. It's public information.
I understand that you're going to be able to speak this when that time gets brought up.
Okay. I want to account for the $1,500 under checks that you, as a council body, you do not review. This year, fiscal year, is over $800,000. That's part of what is needed in this city. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, 800,000 was spent.
How you doing, ma'am? Please state your name, the city you reside in, the street that you live on. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Renee Myrna, and I live on Annapolis in Dearborn Heights. And usually I like to go up after him because I have to soften the blow of everything that he says, but missed my chance this time. Okay, I just have to tell you that when I'm brand new to city council meetings, but things are sparking in my brain. And the first meeting I was in, there was a issue about Burgerati and the food truck. So I said I'd look into it, and I did. I prayed about it. I went over and talked to some people. I talked to some other people, and these are some questions I come up with. Just want to read the questions. They don't need an answer today. I want these just to be on your head. So my notes are, first, although I'm addressing the Burgerati food truck issue, that's before the city council, I'm actually concerned regarding all businesses that would seek to come to Dearborn Heights. As I promised, I have prayed and asked for wisdom in this matter, and these are some points that were brought to my attention. Although there's not the time to address all of these here, I would like an answer possibly in an email. FOIA. I inquired regarding a FOIA request for information. So I was told the process of it, and I'm looking into it. What I have found out so far, my questions are harassment and who's doing it. I've uncovered information on who is doing it. What's the history of the police coming out to the business? Is it public record? Death threats, are they tracked by the FBI? Why are some people getting death threats? If a sewer study was done, who ordered the study and who did the study? The actual names of the people, is there any connection? Is there room for an independent study? Is this something that they can swear under oath? Is there a cost? Is there money being exchanged other than costs? Is there proof of who put grease down the sewer? Can they prove it came from Burgerati? Or did it come from the Italian restaurant, which is only right next door? I would like to have that analyzed. As for previous arrests, which somebody brought in that the gentleman was arrested previously, are they relevant to the case? Are they proven? Were there any charges? Why was it thrown into the mix? I know my time's up, so.
All right, ma'am, your time is up.
I have other questions, but those are some of the things that have been brought to my attention that when that comes up later on.
Look what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you, can you give her a form, let her fill it out, write your email on there, it'll get over to me, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you very
George,
much.
just CC me on that email, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? How you doing, sir? Please state your name. Wow, you guys look like twins.
One lives on Rosemary.
Please state your name, the city you reside on, and the street that you live on.
Ken Kupchak, Dearborn
Ken.
Heights, Mayburn Street. I'm speaking on 9B. I am the DHPEA TPOAM president. The city and the union have come to agreement, and this is the contract we've put before you to get your blessing. Okay,
Thank you. Thanks, Ken. How you doing, sir? You asked for an additional minute. Please state your name, the
I'm
city you
doing
reside
fine.
in, the
Thank
street
you.
that you live on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 3 items to talk about. 9D. The city is blessed really to have 2 great judges in our city. Every time I walk to the court for any reason, I feel safe. I feel protected because they are fair, they do their job, and they don't discriminate against anybody. and I want to thank him today for bringing a new face. She's related to me somehow. I might be prejudiced about it, but she's a wonderful young lady, and she's going to be appointed to a magistrate. I'm happy that they selected her because she's a hard-working person. She's honest, and she's very qualified. So thank you to both judges, the court administrator. You always come with great names, with great people to be magistrates in our city. Second thing, city properties. I will ask before you approve anything to do the following. Those are just recommendations. That you give the public 30 days to review those properties so they have enough time to look at them, especially the list of those property has been secret. We asked about it many times. Nobody ever responded to us until last week or
We still didn't get it. We still have
you
not
still
received.
didn't get it. So good luck, you're going to vote on something you don't know what it is. Anyway, I recommend before, they go to anybody, 30 days for the public to review. They put them online, they put them in the newspaper. I don't care how they do. All the bids should come to the clerk's office, no other office, no controller, nobody. She's the only one I would trust trust her office to have really complete control and fairness, and all the bids will be open at the same time. And there must be 5 years homeowners condition, meaning nobody like the previous properties which we sold. Most of them didn't last for 6 months and they are rental. And nobody inspect them, nobody follow up on them. And I don't want to mention names, and you mentioned some properties went for $11,000, 16 properties. Those would have went
11 properties for 16,000.
11 for 16,000. Probably, they would have went probably for over 150,000 if somebody was paying attention and caring for the city. I would ask 2 homes to be specifically for veterans. The city will refurbish and fix those properties and give them to 2 veterans who are disabled and served our country.
I'm going to give you 20 more seconds.
Thank you. The last thing is the position of the clerk's administrator. Please, this is very important to me. When I was asked to be the treasurer for 4 months, I didn't ask for it. 5 city council members asked me to take it to make sure that the records are in good shape because there was forensic audit. And that's why I accepted the job. I never asked the mayor or the clerk or anybody in the city to give me a job because I do have a business and I do make good living.
Thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
very
Abdulhak.
much.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
Thank you.
And I have very confidence in you. You will make the right decision.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulhak. We appreciate you. Anyone else in the audience? Yep. Lady, ma'am, please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on. You have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry, good evening. Miriam Kalof, owner-broker of Sunflower Realty, Wilson, Dearborn. Wilson is the street.
Yep.
So I was just listening to the last constituent. With all due respect, I just, as a realtor and as a broker, when the council makes the decision tonight, and I believe it's 8A, I think, oh, no, what is it?
7A.
Yeah, 7A. I want you to consider that as realtors, or I mean, as me, as a broker, I would consider the first respondents, we would consider, we would consider not only just the first responders.
The veterans?
Also the veterans, the first-time home buyers. Sometimes in our line of work, we tend to manage unrealistic expectations. Our job is not an easy job. Our job is a difficult job. So right now, everything that was stated was sort of like unrealistic. You cannot, you need a broker. You do need someone to guide that first-time home buyer, that first-time, just for the, on the basis of that whole transaction, you would still need that broker, that realtor. It's not as easy as just letting a city maintain. I think you would welcome the help. I don't think you want to hold on to them. I think you would, I think you would want to welcome the help. That's all I wanted to say. It's a tedious job. It's not an easy one. So I would think about that once, twice, 3 times. That's it.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, council members and council chairman. Thank you for having me here.
Please state your name, the city you reside on, and the street that you live on.
Sure. Wael Hussein, reside in Canton, and I'm here representing Keller Williams Legacy on behalf of Mr. Michael Phillips, who is out of town on a business trip. So in regards to item 7A, just wanted to point out in the study session, we did go over the entire workflow, the work proposal, and we are pretty confident in being able to handle the fiduciary responsibilities of the city of Dearborn Heights in offloading and selling those properties to the public. We will hold our fiduciary responsibility to you, councilmen and council ladies, and you in turn will hold that fiduciary responsibility towards the citizens and the residents of the city of Dearborn Heights. We have the platform, we have the manpower, we have the numbers, statistics, the sales, and the trust of the public to actually handle a reputable, again, keeping everyone's best interest in mind and arrive at a win-win. So we're here to answer any questions, provide any support we need to provide, and we're looking forward to our cooperation if that happens in the near future. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none. Anyone else on Zoom? Okay, sorry. One more. How you doing, sir? Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Thank you. Abbas Alwisha. I live in Dearborn Heights on College for the last 25 years. I lived in Dearborn Heights. I mainly work with kids in robotics and sports. And I'm attending my second city council meeting, the first one in Dearborn, the second one in Dearborn Heights, my hometown for the last 25 years. I came tonight to thank the city, both city council, the mayor, Parks and Recreation Department for supporting the youth, especially on item 9G in sports. I volunteer on average about 12 hours a week with kids, and we are thankful. I'm one of the volunteers in the Dearborn Heights Soccer Club, the Wolverines. A lot of coaches come from University of Michigan, so they renamed it Wolverines. And the colors blend in, blue and
Yeah, you're getting the wrong guy over here.
We're thankful to have your support in the past, and then your continued support, and also in the future. And the youth is our future. And as the rhythm goes, Dearborn Heights, a city with a future. Without our youth, we wouldn't have a future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? How you doing, sir?
My name is Christopher Scalisi. I live on McDonald Street in Dearborn Heights. My son plays on the team with Coach Abbas. It's been a great program.
Wolverine?
Wolverine, absolutely. Wrong colors.
Yeah.
It's a great program. Wonderful kids. My son has a great time. I think he's been involved in the program for now 2 years. It's great that there's this type of program within Dearborn Heights for the youth. Soccer is, of course, worldwide sport. everyone loves it, and I see so many families, so many kids come out and play, and it's great that Dearborn Heights and Dearborn support this club. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? All right, seeing none. Public hearing and public comments are closed. Next up, we have fund transfers and current claims.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
Move that the Dearborn Heights City Council, move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the current claims C and ACH wire transfer 6-1 through -614 and -616 through -640 as submitted.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion on this? I know we're walking on 640. This is for the clerks. For an additional 3,000, for those who are at home, $3,241.63. Anything the clerk brings before us, we know they're just a system, and they've brought in a lot of money this year to a lot of the reimbursements that we've gotten through the state. So I think the $200,000 you brought us back, you can borrow $3,241 back from us.
And Council Chair, just so that you all know, it's codification, and what that does is, once you approve an ordinance, once a year, codifying puts it into law. I mean, it's automatically law once you approve it, but then at the end, once a year, Unicode or Civic Plus is who it is now, they codify it.
Awesome. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next up on the agenda is 7A, City Engineer Bid Award, Sale of City-Owned Property.
Council Chair?
Councilwoman Breyer?
Yes. I'll make the motion that the City of Dearborn Heights City Council award the contract for the sale of city-owned property to Sunflower Realty as the most qualified proposer, as outlined in 7A.
Motion made by Councilwoman Breyer. Can I get a second for discussion?
I'm recusing myself, but can I second still?
No.
No. Can't vote, you can't.
We have a second for discussion. Motion is dead. How does that happen? Now there's a second and a third.
There's no second, it's dead.
I understand that. What I'm asking is,
Council Chair.
yes,
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council award the contract for the sale of city-owned properties to Keller Williams of Canton.
Cullen Legacy, not of Canton.
Keller Williams Legacy.
Motion. Motion made by, well, I don't know how that works. Can we amend it to that?
The first one failed, so you gotta bring
Okay.
that back.
Motion made by Councilman Constant, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? I do. I have some discussion on this.
You can't because we're not voting on it.
Please stop. Nothing from the audience. My discussion on this is I agree with Mr. Abdul Haq that we still do not have any addresses on this. Zero, not one.
That's right.
And to me, I think it's important that there should be a standstill on anything for the first 30 days of allowing this to go to the public, allowing this to be put on our website, allowing this to be put on the NMLS and on any other website for people to at least be able to see it. It does not mean that it does not need to be awarded to a bid, but it still needs to be held out somewhere first and foremost. I think secondly, what needs to happen on this, and everybody here is discussing transparency. And I think somebody said from the audience, a lot of eyes are on this right now. A lot of people are looking at this decision, but I can tell you right now, we are also all signed up here to make a decision. We did not get elected on here to make tough decisions and be afraid and put our hands where we don't want to see them. And what I'd also like to state is, I know, Councilman Wanso wanted 2. I think ultimately we should be able to at least provide 5. If there are X amount of properties, 5 to fallen veterans in our city, I think 100% we should at least, at minimum, offer 5 to our fallen veterans. Thank you, guys. And then lastly, I think there needs to be 2 committee members from this body, because nothing in here states that where these properties are going to, who's going to oversee this. This is written out very tiny. So what I'd like to see, whomever this is chosen here, knows that there are 2 people I'd like to see like an expert of maybe these two individuals right here.
Let's do it.
Both of them were either former realtors or current realtors. But I think them two can be able to see them getting presented to them. They can give it to the council and can discuss it with the clerk. But to throw the workload on the clerk who has a million other things that are going on, I also don't think that's fair.
Council Chair.
But I do believe 100% this right here comes to the city council. City council should be ultimately seeing every single investor, home buyer, and yes, our deed restriction of saying if you're going to sell this property, you're going to rehab this property, we want to see home buyers, we want to see first-time home buyers in the city. Nothing against renters. But right now, Dearborn Heights has seen an influx of that. And we're wanting to see a thriving community. In order to see a thriving community like we once used to see, we saw people that lived, worked, and hung out in the city of Dearborn Heights. So that's what ultimately what I would like to see on this right here, because I don't want to just see, hey, we're going to award the bid to this person, congratulations. No. No. That's not going to happen.
Council Chair.
There is going to be, and I'll be right with you, Councilman, there are going to be house rules on this. And I'm going to tell you, the house rules is going to start with the city council. It's not going to the administration. It's not going to go to the corporation council, and the council doesn't know what's happening because we've done that for 3 years. And for 3 years, we don't know what happened. But that's where I stand on that. Go ahead, Councilman Saab. So if you'd like to amend your motion on this, Councilman Constant, when we get back to that, I would love that.
So, Council Chair,
Yeah.
first and foremost, I was having a conversation with you in between the public comments. The way this was written out, first of all, there was other bidders that came through that emails were mistakenly misspelled, and they were never notified. That's number one. To have transparency, everybody should have had a chance to come and publicly propose what they're bidding. Secondly, the way that the engineer wrote this here, really, to be honest with you, the engineer has no say on who he can propose and not to propose. And the way that this is written out is that we make the final decision on who wants to.
I agree with you.
And no offense to Sunflower Realty or anything, but the way that this is put in as a considered bid, it's incorrect. And the power falls to the council, not to a city engineer, where we have over 200 and some properties listed in the city that we have not seen one of them or gotten an address or anything. So I ask that either this be tabled until we get everybody that here.
We don't even need to do that. What's happening on this here, Councilman, is it's simply saying nothing is going to be pushed. Them two are going to lead the direction of what they expect out of if this gets passed. Them two will be in charge of that. And that is ultimately saying they can even have their own meetings. They can say, this is what our expectation is. And if you don't like it, we'll go back out for bids. But I ultimately believe if we start having 7, 8, 9, 10 people start giving their opinion on this, and we continue to drag on this, which, by the way, there's a lot of money here that we're losing for our city. At the end of the day, whatever's being sold is being sold. We know Dearborn Heights just went through almost a lockdown because we were short almost $2.9 million to our budget. So to me, sitting here saying we're going to keep holding off, we're going to keep holding off, we're going to keep holding off, it's not the answer.
Council Chair?
Councilwoman Menalowski-Maxwell.
I agree 100% with what you said. Also, too, in the past, council has always been involved in the process. I don't know why
100%.
they're trying to change it. Also, too, I think it would be a good idea to publish the list ahead of time so people know, because
It has to.
the vacant lots, how many people that live next door to the vacant lots know that they might be coming up, and it might give them time to prepare to get the money together to purchase it?
I agree.
Give them a warning. I don't, how many of the people next
That's
to
why
these
you guys are
vacant
going to lead
lots?
that fight.
Okay.
I agree, and whatever ground rules you guys set, this is not all said and done here. The administration can come out and put out an RFP. But I think I agree with Councilman Saab on this, for Mr. Deeb or the administration just to choose, when we went through a process, and we said, invite these top 4, let them come out here and present, and to come out and say that this is who we want, that's not the approach that I never expected that, really, and until I saw the motion. So, I mean, it's disheartening, but things like that happen. Any other discussion?
Yes, Council Chair. I just would add, I know when you spoke earlier, we do not want to distinguish between renters and homeowners as if they're less important in a city such as Dearborn Heights. Now, we may want to focus on less investors of property and more homeowners coming in, but
Yeah, that's what
I
I
think
said.
we're very clear that we're not going to distinguish between two groups, and I've talked to Mr. Wenzel about that, because it separates and may even get into other racial issues. So I would ask just to, we treat all citizens in the city the same, equally.
Roger, I want you to know something. All I'm simply saying is, if somebody wants to come and live in these homes for the first 5 years, kind of like Mr. Abdul Haq said, let them be home occupying owners. I forget what the word is, but it's occupying.
Owner occupied.
Owner occupied. That's all we want. Owner occupied.
Owner
That's all we're
occupied,
asking
fine.
for.
Yeah, but you have to realize the country is changing, and we have, for instance, an organization called Living Cities that help renters become homeowners.
Nice.
And sometimes people have to start up. They're giving money. Albuquerque, New Mexico, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Buffalo, New York. There's in 28 cities that they're doing. They're helping people gain economic wealth because of their property. So you are franchising people, and you want to do that. So that's all I'm saying, but we do put a clause in there, owner occupied.
Thank you. And they will choose which clauses are going to come before this,
Can I say something? or-
Yeah,
Can I say
absolutely.
something, Madam Clerk? or- I mean, thank you, Councilor Chair. Whatever Councilor Chair is saying, probably we can do a deed restriction, but it's not forever deed restriction. Maybe we could do it for 1 year, 2 years as an owner occupant, then it could be done, whatever, after that. But whoever you guys, can I discuss?
I mean, probably not.
All right.
Any other discussion? Councilman, Madam Clerk, can we amend this so that it says,
I would prefer that you state exactly what you
Okay.
want done.
Council
If you just
Chair.
want to appoint the
Yeah,
two of them.
you
To
make
work
those
along.
amendments, Councilman?
I move that I want to amend my motion, refer this matter to a
No,
study session.
No. We're amending it to allow Councilwoman and
And
Councilman Ahmad.
Subcommittee of Councilwoman Denise Malinowski Maxwell and Councilman Hassan Ahmad review the whole process and make recommendations to us.
Set ground rules.
Ground rules.
Are you okay with that?
Council Chair, to be, Councilman Constant, honestly, I'd like somebody from the public to be involved on this too.
Thank you.
A
Yeah,
resident.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, somebody from the public.
There you go.
Zuhair, yes.
I mean-
Or Angela.
I second it.
I third it.
Zuhair or Angela, because they're very involved in the
I
council.
would love to see Angela. Go ahead. Angela, would you be open to that?
All right,
Would you be
she's
okay
on.
with that?
Yeah, I'm okay. I
Councilman, would
think
you be,
we work
actually, that's a
well
great
together.
recommendation. Would you like to add Angela to it?
And Angela Vegas as a member of the public also.
Councilman Saab, do you
And
second
then-
that?
Yes, but I also would like somebody from the administration to be there, so that way it's fair. Public, the council, and the administration. So it'd be a 5-person panel. to
Let's say
oversee
just Corporation Council.
I don't think Roger's up to the task, but Roger?
Sure. We'll do it.
All right, Roger's also in there.
Madam
All right.
Clerk, could just go back to her office.
I mean, she need to be.
Actually, she should be involved in the process.
Okay, add the
She's gotta
clerk.
deal with it
The
at the
more
end.
eyes, the more the merrier. I'm not mad at anybody. We want to show you that this is 100% going to be transparent. You cannot manipulate. I mean,
Madam Clerk, you okay for this, to be a record keeper? Okay. Mr. Constant?
Yes, and our Corporation Counsel, Roger, and our Clerk, Lynn Senior.
I second.
Madam Clerk, can you take a roll call on this?
Can we repeat it? First, we're awarding it. to
Angela,
Kelly.
Roger.
Hold on, I'll repeat it. So we're going to have a subcommittee.
You're not awarding to anyone right now?
No,
Yeah, there is.
no.
Okay, see, that's,
Yeah, he amended
That was
his
the
motion
initial
and he
motion
took
that's on the
Keller
floor.
Williams' legacy. And then there's a subcommittee, and there are people that are
Okay.
overseeing all of this.
Okay. So there'll be a subcommittee that would review everything, set ground rules. There'll be two members from the council, 2 members from the public.
No, I want to say not 2 members of the council, Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell and Councilman
Okay.
Ahmad.
Councilman Hassan Ahmad and Councilwoman Denise Malinowski Maxwell. Also Zohair Abdul Haq
No,
from the
it's
public.
Angela, it's Angela.
And Zohair, we said 2.
just one member.
Okay, throw Zohair in there.
Zohair Abdul Haq and Angela Vegas. And then Roger, our corporation, Roger Farina, our corporation counsel, and our clerk, Lynn Sinia.
That's
So
6.
moved.
Okay, we got that.
Council Chair, are we
Yes.
awarding the bid, or are we just forming a subcommittee?
Yes, he awarded the
That's why I
bid.
want to make sure. Okay.
Yes.
To award the
Are we
bid to,
awarding the bid
You're awarding the bid?
There was a motion. Not awarding.
the original motion was to award the
Yeah, it
bid
was.
Yeah, it was
to
award.
Keller.
Council Chair,
TW.
I honestly, without this list, I don't feel comfortable awarding.
I don't either.
Okay.
We can bring it back in 2 weeks if we get the list.
With this committee that would get the list.
problem with
It's
that.
actually going to be better.
So either table it or just vote.
Refer it back to the administration to get the list.
Refer to a study session.
No, you don't need to take it to a study session. Hang on, please, nothing from the audience. We'll refer this back to the administration upon our next city council meeting, January 10th,
14th.
January 14th. Really, that's how far we're going?
It's that far.
Wow.
I'm going to double check. But you would know.
People need vacations.
January 14th. Roger, can you get us that list? As you're now on the committee?
Yeah, I'll talk to the,
Hold on one second. I'll get it. I'll get it.
Roger, can you also include all the properties, even the ones that are listed under Tifa? I want record of them, of every single property Tifa and the city own.
So, Councilman Ahmad, Councilman Constant, will you refer this back to the
Refer
administration?
back to the administration.
second.
And form our committee to set ground rules, look into this further.
Thank you. To the January 14th, 2025 meeting.
Council Chair. Councilman Saab, do you need a list of the potential for sale or all city properties?
All city properties.
I have that one.
No, because we found out the other when you weren't here, that there's only.
Hey, guys,
Yeah, we'll just discuss that later.
Yeah, there's a vote on the table,
The Tifa.
including Tifa, he said. Okay? All in favor to refer this back to the administration with the entire list of the properties, and we're going to ask our committee, Corporation Counsel, Roger, to bring that or send it to the council, and it'll be added to the January 14th meeting. All in favor, please state aye.
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 Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have reports from the mayor, zoning board of appeals reappointment.
Council Chair.
Councilman,
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council concur with the mayoral reappointment of Bill Darwish to the Zoning Board of Appeals, term to expire in May 2027, as outlined in 8-A.
Second.
motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. She jumped on it. Any
Yes.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Darwish. Next up, we have Clerk's Senate Annual Publication Amendment Notice of Meeting as required under the Public Act Number 267, Public Act of 1976.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that Dearborn Heights City Council authorize the annual publication and the amended notice of meetings as required under Public Act Number 267, Public Act of 1976, with amended notice of meetings to be published Wednesday, December 11, 2024, as outlined in 9A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Hearing none? Yes.
I think the one for the seniors is maybe not updated. Is Bernice still on that list? Do you remember, Lynn?
I don't recall. We sent out an email about a month ago to all of the.
She died a few months ago, if she's
Okay.
still on the list.
So whoever's in charge.
God rest her
of that,
soul.
Take her off. Then we will
Yeah,
take her.
so I noticed that one was, I think we're down to just about one person. She acts as treasurer, and that would be Linda Mahaney. So that's my only comment.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, Clerk Senior receives note and file the Dearborn Heights Public Employee Association TPOAM agreement of 2023 to 2020, from 2023 to 2026.
Council Chair.
Councilman Constant.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council receive, note, and file the previously approved Council Motion 23-539, Dearborn Heights PEA TPOM contract, July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026, and proceed with the appropriate signatures as outlined in 9B.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Constant, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion on this? I'm glad that we were able to see our union and our administration come together. I know this is a whole year of back and forth, but I'm glad that they found a tentative agreement, and this will be ratified by our vote here today. So congratulations to both sides. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Treasurer Hicks, next up, we have 9C, Treasurer Hicks Clay and legal review of Treasurer's Office contract.
Council Chair.
Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council authorize additional review of the Treasurer's Office contract by additional municipal council as outlined in 9C.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion?
Council Chair.
Councilman?
I mean, why wouldn't we have our city attorney review it, and then if there's a need for additional review, has the treasurer asked for the contract or said, you know, I need it quickly, or?
Hello. So I'll
Councilwoman?
answer that question. First of all, I want to note, and maybe Madam Clerk can give us a motion number, but it was at least 4 weeks ago, this honorable body was presented all of the, consultants or agencies for delinquent PPT collections. This honorable body made a decision. They voted for Altrist, and that was who we were going to go with. But then some things were raised that, again, this honorable body made a decision. So really, legal counsel did review and had the opportunity to do so, because again, all that information was on the public agenda, on the city council agenda for everybody to look at, not to bring up after the fact, after you already voted. So that's the first thing I want to say. All due respect to our attorney, and somebody just said that, is not, and I asked Madam Clerk to confirm this for me, he has not been confirmed or concurred by you, the honorable body. So, and the other question that kept coming up is that, well, the mayor has oversight and the chief of staff has oversight. They do not. And this is the interference I'm getting trying to execute this contract that you approved. And not only is it delaying and interfering, but we're talking $100,000 is getting ready to walk away from the city that I will not be able to collect after December 31st. The clock is ticking and has been ticking. Those tax bills that I can't collect after December 31st, they'll be stricken. They're eligible for strike law. So I hope that answers that question. And I thought anytime, if council has a question about it, something, that's why you have your special counsel. And you can always refer it to them for review.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hang on, I'm going to let Roger answer.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear from our city attorney or from.
Yeah, the contract was not presented to me before it was presented to you, honorable body. When I did get the contract, when we looked at it, it was an out-of-state company in Louisiana. I then subsequently met with their legal counsel, their sales manager. I met with the owner of the company. They could not give us a percentage of how much they were collecting. There was numbers that were not clear, and my worst concern was that our information from our residents could be kept on their servers, even if the contract is terminated. So when I reviewed it and I gave it to the treasurer, I also, when I heard about it, I got another company that's in Farmington Hills that presented a percentage of over 35% collection rate. They have two options for the city, a better plan than what was presented, and I presented it to Madam Treasurer. She has subsequently said, she wants to go with the Louisiana company. I put in protections for that company, for us, that the jurisdiction would change from Louisiana to here, and that we wouldn't have to hire lawyers if anything should transpire in Louisiana. But in addition, Council Treasurer on Friday, Madam Treasurer, since it's a year contract, asked if I could put in a clause that would give her 30 days or 60 days or 90 days to cancel the contract if she wants to. So I have not had a chance today to do that, but I will add that to her contract, and then she can go forward with it, and you take the risk, because she says you approved it. That's all I can do.
Mr. Thank you for adding that,
Council
because
Chair.
that
Hang on.
30-day clause, that out clause, is standard in the majority, I think, if not all, of our city contracts and should be included. And the company that we're talking about, that we arranged the meeting by Zoom, I think it was Zoom or Teams, but they were willing to work on everything that the city was asking for to, comply with our wishes to
Actually,
protect the city.
Hang on, Roger, please. Nothing, please, no interruption.
That's all.
Are you done?
That's all I
Madam
wanted to
Treasurer?
say. Thank you.
Councilman Constant, you're next.
Well, things like a form selection clause that says any action has to be brought in Louisiana, that has to go out, and these are, I don't know that, if the company will agree to it, fine, that we want to have a clause that says the contract can be canceled with 30 days' notice. But the percentage the company's going to take of the money they collect, that's the key provision.
Exactly. And the negotiations was different from the other company from Farmington Hills that we brought. That was much better for us. In fact, there was zero payment. They would just get 50% of what they collected. The other company has a 10% of every person that we sent to them that we're going to have to pay them. Now, that was not presented to me beforehand, but as soon as I saw that, I flagged it with the treasurer. Now, if she wants to go with it, that's her choice. But I'm just saying that it's not just a 30-day cancellation. She wants a certain period of time to watch the company and see if it works. Now, I don't know if 30 days, 60 days, and 9 days is enough time to gauge how that company is going to do. But that's what Madam Treasurer has asked for, so we will put that in for her. But I would also ask the confidential information, that's kept on their servers, even after we cancel. And I do not want with privacy issues, our citizens' information held in Louisiana. Plus, the money is collected in Louisiana. They take their gross, they take their payments out of it. We get a net, and then we still have to pay them. So those terms, when I saw the contract, I said, wait a second.
Madam Treasurer, why are we using a company from Louisiana?
We interviewed 5 different companies, and I presented everything from every one of those companies to this honorable body. The honorable body made a decision and agreed that that was the company that
Based on your
we would go
recommendation?
with. Yes, based on the recommendation. The reason, and one thing that, just to shed light on these collection agencies, which is what we're talking about for delinquent PPT, the majority of them are all consignment. Okay, they are going to take some of the money. The Farmington Hills ones, all due respect, I wish they had been interviewed in the beginning, but they weren't. They weren't made available to us until 4 weeks after you already made a decision. So I think that's a little unfair to come back after the fact.
I agree.
After you've already talked to another company who we've already updated, and now they're waiting. I think that's very unfair and very unprofessional. And thank goodness we haven't signed the contract, or we could be probably sued, just like with any company.
So can we maybe table this 9D, this 9C, since Roger's agreeing to make those amendments? Roger, can you get them over to her by the latest by Thursday?
Yes.
Latest, is that okay? Does that work for everybody?
That's fine, as long, yes. And the reason I brought this forward is because, one, I wanted you to know what was going on. And two, remember, this honorable body can always use your special counsel on something like that. If that comes up and you're like, well, we're not sure, let's go ahead and get another opinion. You always can do that. And that's what I wanted to make available to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
Council Chair, I would just add to Madam, I thank Madam Treasurer, because we haven't touched in 5 years. These personal property taxes go back 15, 20 years. And I thank Madam Treasurer for making this a focus of her work and working together. She's brought the clerk in, she's brought HR, she's brought different groups in to get this thing going. We have to get on it, but it's never been done before. This is the first time. Thank you.
Councilwoman Menalowski-Maxwell, would you like to amend your motion to table this?
Sure. I move that we table 9C at this time on the recommendation of our treasurer.
Second.
All right. Motion to amend, to table this, send it back to the treasurer's office. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, everybody's been waiting on 9D, 20th District Court Judge Ploetke, 20th District Court Part-Time Magistrate Appointment.
Council Chair.
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the administrative order appointing Miss Jessica R. Shaib to the position of part-time magistrate for the 20th District Court effective January 3rd, 2025, as outlined in 9-D.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab. I'm going to open up the discussion on this because Jessica is somebody that's very dear to me myself. I've known Jessica since the 4th grade. She is a true decorated leader in her legal force. She's been in and out of courtrooms. I think this is somebody I believe that the court has chose amongst the judges in Dearborn Heights. And I see a true leader in our community, a young, ambitious leader who really, really strives to do great things. Big shoes to fill. I mean, leaving shoes from Ivana and Lawrence, I can tell you really big shoes to fill, but I'll tell you she's going to do it quickly. And I think she's going to really pave the way for many others in our community. So I'm glad that this was a choice. I hope this gets approved unanimously today. Congratulations to the courts. Congratulations to our Judge Ploetke and Judge Turfy. I think you guys made the right decision right here, and hopefully the Third Circuit Court doesn't take her away from us.
Council,
I mean, if they do, great, but we'll keep her for a while.
Council Chair.
Councilman Ahmad.
Thank you, Council Chair. I'm pretty sure the court did an amazing, in appointing and giving this appointment, but I would love to hear from Mr. Shaib, maybe for a brief bio, if you don't mind.
Mrs. Shaib.
Mr. Shaib.
Let's round of applause for Mr. Shaib here tonight. Get a lot of money for those glasses.
No. Good evening, everybody. City Council, thank you for having me. Judge Turfy, Judge Plaki, thank you so much for being here with me and for giving me this opportunity, if they vote yes. Thank you for my family, my parents, my in-laws, everyone here is family. I appreciate your support. It takes a village. My village is here. I am born and raised in Dearborn Heights. I went to Kinloch, Riverside, Crestwood, so I am a product of Dearborn Heights. I am very proud of that. I hope to make my whole city proud, everybody proud, and I have had the mentorship of some amazing people, and I am very thankful and grateful for that. I know I have big shoes to fill. Judge Ivana Abraham, Judge Lawrence, they've extended their support. I've already gotten a lot of mentorship and support, and I know I continue to from Judge Turfy and Judge Plaki. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I will make my community proud, and I am very excited for this position.
Look, Jess, we hope this gets approved here and you hit the ground running. Any other discussions?
Let's take a vote on it. then we'll
Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Welcome to Dearborn Heights.
Council Chair.
Yep, Councilman Saab.
That was voted on and approved. Ms. Scheib, I want to congratulate you. It's a remarkable achievement. Or Mrs. Scheib. Or magistrate, I should say. It's an incredible achievement. And, this seat comes with a lot of responsibility. Fairness, responsibility, being equal, across the board to everybody. And I know you'll do great. The thing is, you have big shoes to fill, because 75% of our magistrates usually sit for about 2 or 3 years and become judges, circuit courts. So we wish you the best. We're always here to support you. Good luck.
I don't know, I think our judges just know how to pick them. They pick them better than any other city, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
It must be Michelle, I don't know.
Thank you.
Are we going to hear from the judges or?
Judges, would you
Judge
guys like
Turfy
to?
would like to always hear your voice.
Or Judge?
Judge Plaki, Judge Turfy, please take the stance.
And I just did want to thank my brother who's here and my sister-in-law who's here. I'll save that all for my story.
What about Hassan Shaib?
And my family, I will name them all, but thank you for supporting me always. Can't do it without you guys. Thank you.
Come on, Joe, we're not gonna start without you talking. We gotta hear it. You and the judge. I know it's not an official swearing in, but it's not always we get to see our honorable Judge
Also,
David
the
Turfy.
Chief Judge.
And our Chief Judge
Chief Judge,
Plaki.
please.
Please. And Michelle. Michelle actually just celebrated her 50th birthday. Happy birthday, Michelle.
Stole my thunder, Council
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We're very proud of Jessica. I think she's going to do a great job at the 20th District Court, and we're humbled and honored by the fact that, you're right, everybody we select goes to the circuit court. We do that on purpose so they don't run against us. So as a good company man, I'm going to defer to the chief now.
Man, thank you, Judge.
No, he stole my thunder. So, as he put it, they always leave us, and they're very rude about it. They take these appointments to the circuit court, and I don't know how it happens, but it's probably under Michelle's direction and leadership. Seriously.
She is.
Michelle, you think you're gonna miss the mic?
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations, Jessica. Welcome aboard. Pleased to be working with you, and we're going to take the ground running come January next year, and we'll see how it goes. We're going to do good. Congratulations.
Jessica, we've already voted on your appointment. You and your family can go outside, take pictures, you're good to leave. Or you can sit through the rest of the council meeting and watch us approve a bunch of things.
I thank you all for coming.
Next up, we have 9E, Library Director McCaffrey, purchase and payment of Caroline Kennedy Library shelving.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the purchase and payment of shelving for the Library Design Associates for Caroline Kennedy for the cost not to exceed $29,157 as budgeted for under line 738-98100 for this budget year as outlined 9E.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion? Hearing none. Congratulations, Mr. McCaffrey. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. 9F has been removed. Next up, we have 9G, Parks and Recreation Director Sauer, element of the youth sports program.
Council Chair.
Council Chair.
Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell.
Yes, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the disbursement of the Dearborn Heights Youth Organization allotments as follows. Dearborn Heights Raiders, $2,455. District 7 Flag Football, $1,150. And Dearborn Heights Soccer Association, $3,380,000. In addition, authorized.
No, 3,380.
I'm sorry, $3,380.
$380,000, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know, sorry. Forgot the dots. Anyways, in addition, authorize these funds to be taken from the 2024-2025 Park and Recreation Budget Account Number 691-887, as outlined in 9G.
Support.
Motion made by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. I have a discussion on this. And I'm so proud of what you're doing, and as on your way out these front doors, if you don't mind, Director Sauer. I should have just had a microphone at the other side.
Yeah, that's okay.
How they used to do it. But we started budgeting. My question is, thank you so much for this, and I'm 100% in support of this. You know, I always just like to ask some of the questions. I see we have a young gentleman here with us. We're going to give him a round of applause. I'm sure he's excited and wanting to see this pass. And I also want to thank the volunteers from, even though they're Michigan guys, and they talked about Michigan. I'm a big Michigan State guy, so you used all the wrong colors and names. But I'm still going to go ahead and support this. But I ask is, how does the Dearborn Heights Soccer Association make almost double the amount than the District 7 flag football, or $1,000, a little less than $1,000 than the Dearborn Heights Raiders? I
Okay.
know,
In the years past, this actually isn't something that I've changed. It's kind of, well, it's not kind of, it is the ratio that they have gotten before in the past. It's basically based on the number of kids that they get. So the Dearborn Heights Youth Soccer Group has 169 kids, and we give $20 per child for that. Now, if you're talking about the Raiders, for instance, they had 51 residents, but in the past, they've always received more because the equipment that they need is more and higher. And this is pre-Ken Greivel, I think, is what these figures were. So they really haven't been updated. So that amount for them came to, I believe, the 2455. I don't have that in front of me. I have that on my computer, but and then for District 7, again, they have less residents. So that is where the difference in the money comes from. And then with the D7 group, they're $25 per child. So each group, each sport is different, and it depends on the number of Dearborn Heights residents that they have, and we go through and we check to make sure the kids are residents by their addresses that we're given.
thank you so much. You answered my questions, and I thought one of which was, I believe when we did this last year, we gave to the Dearborn Heights Raiders, and we gave to the Dearborn Heights
Panthers. And I did not get the Panthers information yet, so the new director will probably be coming forward to that at some time. I didn't want to hold these up because I was leaving, so.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other
Counsel-
discussion?
Council Chair?
Yeah.
Council Chair, I'll just add, the gentleman that spoke about soccer, I just want to, if we can encourage him, he's also has about, I think about 45 students that do robotics, and he talked about doing a program in Dearborn Heights for robotics competition. So I would encourage him, and I've spoken to him, and I'm amazed at what he does in the soccer program, so.
Thank you.
I know it's your name.
He is also possibly interested in being on the Recreation Commission. So I have his information. He's going to submit an
Who
application.
knows, maybe our next year recreation director.
I do mainly engineering.
Even better.
That's my daytime job, but I'm here to support the kids, the youth, and the city where the future belongs to our youth. And that's
Thank
why
you.
I'm here tonight.
We 100% support you, sir.
That's the only reason I'm here tonight is for
Thank you. I mean, 12 hours a week. I was breaking that up in my head. I said, I wonder if he does 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. Does he do 6 hours, 6 hours, like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2?
I don't know how many are into sports, but they can join too.
Nice. God bless you guys. Okay, motion made by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is 9H Police Chief Swope Dispatch Training Agreement.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the total response service plan agreement between the city and Total Response for $3,385.40. And in addition, authorize the mayor and the clerk to sign the contract on behalf of the city, which will expire in November 2025. In addition, authorize the mayor and comptroller to sign the warrants and the treasurer to issue payment from the police 911 CNC Fund 101-300-962.101 as outlined in 9H.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, Police Chief Swope purchase and payment of Special Operations Team SOT firearms.
Council Chair.
Go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the purchase and payment of Glock firearms and accessories from CMP Distributors, Inc. for $6,909.86. In addition, authorize the mayor and the clerk to sign a necessary warrant and treasurer to issue payment from account number 265-330-831.265 as outlined in 9I.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant. Purchase of firearms. Any discussion?
Council Chair.
Councilman?
I mean, it's stated here by the chief that he was requesting a closed session on this.
Chief, you want to step up?
Not sure if we should table this until we have that closed session.
I mean, isn't this for the membership that we bought with the county? Right?
This is for firearms.
Right, but it's for the SWAT team, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the closed session, we can disregard that. I think that was placed in there before the paperwork was printed and everything was already published, so we're good now. So we're not looking for that anymore, so.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is 9J American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA premium payment.
Council Chair.
I don't know what you're reading.
The Dearborn Heights City Council as outlined in 9AJ.
Didn't we have something else here?
What happened there? Forget the motion?
Blank.
Huh? Who?
Okay, well, then
It
we
is.
don't pass it tonight.
Time out. Is this about giving them their money?
You gotta do it before December 31st.
Okay.
But we don't have the information.
We have 9K, we don't have.
He actually emailed us, all of us, the amount.
Yeah,
and
it
he
was in
sent it back.
alphabetical order.
And he sent it back in alphabetical order. That's the amount, but this is left out here.
Without the list. Well, I mean, or maybe Dearborn because of personnel information.
It brings personal information, but there was a number.
That's what it is.
Study session.
No, it
That's
was
all we
after, it was after the study session. We got a,
That's all we have, right? We only have what we got before the study session. We only have what we had before the study session.
Well, we might be having a study session. Maybe I'll do a special meeting on Tuesday.
I won't be here.
Just when we thought we were off the hook.
Not off the hook, sorry, guys. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll just refer back 9J to the administration. We obviously have to come up with 9J, so we have to vote on something.
So we're going to refer back to,
Administration. There's nothing from the audience, sir.
Council Chair, who made that motion?
I did.
Councilman
Second.
Saab, seconded by Councilman Constant.
Thank
No.
No
Councilman
second.
Saab, there was not a second, because there was nothing read. So actually, the motion was just dead on arrival. Wasn't even a second.
Can't second.
Can't
So
second.
you don't want to do anything?
Do you need a second to table it?
Okay.
or-
No.
No?
Let's make it dead on
No, I
arrival.
mean to table it, yeah, but if we
You don't
don't want
say
to
anything,
act
it's
on it, if
tabled
there's no
anyways.
second, you can't act on it.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it.
You have to use this money.
Oh, yeah, we do by the end of the year.
Wow. How you doing? Something important? You got something on it for us? We did that on arrival. We'll bring it back to next Tuesday's meeting. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, you're on point.
Okay.
Next up, we have 9K, Councilman Saab, American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds allocation of vehicles.
Council Chair,
Before you do anything, I would also still like to amend this here. I know you're putting it as a total of $1.2 million, correct?
correct.
I'd like to make it $2.2 million.
I'll amend it.
Hang on. I'd like you to amend it before you read this with adding $1 million to DPW department and allowing them to upgrade their equipment as well.
I'll support that. I'll add that. Council Chair,
Councilman,
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council allocate $2.2 million from its American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, funds to enhance the operational capabilities of our public safety departments and public works department through the procurement of new vehicles and equipment. And proposed allocation as followed. Number one would be the police department allocate $900,000 for the acquisition of new patrol vehicles and detective bureau vehicles to replace the aging units to ensure effective law enforcement operations. Number two would be for the fire department to allocate $300,000 for the upgrade of the fire department's vehicle fleet, enhancing response times and service reliability. And number three would be for the Department of Public Works for $1 million to upgrade equipment and their aging fleet, as recommended.
motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. I love that unity. Councilman Saab, Councilwoman Breyer. I accidentally called you Councilwoman Saab, so.
I'll let it go.
Thank you. I got chewed up the last time I slipped up like that.
Council Chair, I'd like to add that this money, this money be allocated before December 31st, 2024.
Thank you. Can I also hear from our DPW director? Just so you guys know, Mr. John Dancy is freaking phenomenal. This guy is like truly from heaven. God sent him from Ann Arbor, which I'm not a fan of, he's a big Michigan fan, but he's truly from heaven. And he has been so organized, he over-communicates. Like he over-communicates to the point where like, I haven't even responded to his text yet. Because he's constantly texting or he's constantly emailing me. He's keeping me in the loop. He actually handed me over like maybe 6 or 7 things that he wants to purchase to help make things better for the residents. But he says we cannot continue to move forward without these 6, 7, 8, 9 things. In my mind, I said, I don't know where we're going to get this money from. I had a couple of residents reach out and say, hey, you can actually use this money for aging infrastructure, including vehicles, fleets, things like that. So Councilman Saab spoke with, I believe, the police chief. And he spoke with the fire chief. Here we have our DPW director who is going to, all of them are going to be able to benefit from this.
Thank you. My apologies, I didn't have anything on the agenda. I've now gotten fully familiar with our Civic Plus platform, so I'll be able to, my plan is to have
Mr.
a
Cooper,
report
I'll
on
teach
the front, on the begin, yeah, thank you. director for giving me all the proper access and a little bit of training. That way I plan on having a quick 5 minutes of your time at the beginning of every first month meeting, just to give some data the last month and a little bit of discussion going forward.
So Director, we're actually not doing the data breakdown today. What I'm
Fair
actually
enough.
asking you is, do you think $1 million is enough to be able to purchase the equipment that you showed me that day?
$1 million will buy us 1.5 new salt snowplow trucks. So it helps. It does help. I've talked to a lot of other directors in the area, and I mean, most of the cities around the Dearborn Heights size, we'd be looking at 10 to 12 over the next 5 to 6 years. So 10 to 12 million over the next 5 to 6 years might get us to where we're at. Like I said, we have, the average snowplow truck runs in that $500,000 range. One more sewer Vector truck is usually in that $550,000 to $600,000 range. We have one currently that will go out, clean sewers when needed, respond to backups. We use it for main breaks, which this last month, I'm not going to go through all the data, but we had 12, which is kind of actually a pretty good month for us in November, which is still averaging almost one every other day for our city to go out and repair main breaks, which a lot of times that hydro excavating truck saves a lot of time. It's safer. It allows us to locate utilities, makes it far easier. And we have one, and when we're using it for sanitary and occasional excavating, it's got to be basically bleached, sanitized, and cleaned a little bit before we send it out on a main break.
So you said so you said you need 1.5 million.
We'll stick with what we got here, and I definitely, like I said, I got a list of a lot of things to purchase. My plans come January, February, March to start laying out a little bit more of a plan for what the priorities are, what I feel we need to buy and purchase, and then start to utilize them around the city. Because from my perspective, coming into the city, we're functioning, but we're kind of being held together by a lot of old equipment, and it's becoming increasingly expensive to maintain.
So, Council Chair, I'd like to actually amend it and make the Department of Public Works to 1.5 million from the money, if Councilwoman Breyer would approve that.
I agree.
So that would bring out the total to 2.7 million.
If this is something that's got to be purchased before the end of the year, we might have to
No.
have a special council, because
No,
I
no,
could
no.
do it.
We just
No.
have to allocate the money before then.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got a couple other things I can bring, I don't know if we're going to.
And public comments.
Fair enough.
Chief,
Thank you,
can I
Council.
have you up there for a second, please? So, bringing this motion forward, I actually had the chief send me an email telling me what vehicles needed to, that there was an agent, the fleet was aging for the Detective Bureau. And I asked them to send me, they had some bids on some vehicles. Had them send me that, and then I also asked them for what the Tahoes outfitted, the cost of the Tahoes were. And so this should boost the department's fleet quite well, I believe, the $900,000.
Yeah, we appreciate, appreciate the support. That $900,000 would go a long way in making sure our officers are responding to calls for service safely and more efficiently. Our Detective Bureau vehicles are older. They're functioning and they're rolling. But at the same time, with the increased manpower at the police department and the increased technology, we're able to use some more resources and do some more surveillance and whatnot. So newer, nicer vehicles will blend in a little bit better, and will really serve our Detective Bureau a lot. It'll be great. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, motion made by Councilman Saab, amended to add $1.5 million for the Department of Public Works, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Can we actually, thank you, is our comptroller on here?
Sure.
Sure. We haven't seen you in a while. We miss you. It's okay.
Good afternoon, council members. Sorry, I've been off for a little bit and then I got a little bit sick, but I'm back now. With these two amendments that we just did for DPW and the police department, I would just bring back to your attention that we might have to come back with the contract that already got approved for the water mains, because that was awarded, I believe,
No, it
the
wasn't.
council
No.
meeting prior to this?
No, even
Not
when we
yet?
said that it was, that we would always come back and remove the amount. It wasn't a guaranteed
It was a
amount.
square footage, or
It
not
was a
square lineage.
Yeah, I know it's by the square
Yeah,
mileage,
so-
so that's what I mean. We would just have to amend how much square
2.7
millage we
million would
wanted
be
to.
removed from that contract.
Okay, just wanted to
And then it would-
clarify
it would go
that.
to-
2.7 plus what we're giving away to ARPA.
ARPA. no,
Premium pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
correct.
ARPA was out of that money. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to clarify that.
Up in Chief, if you can go ahead and put those for the cars for the bid as soon as this comes through, so that we can get your fleet, John and Chief Brogan. Thank you, guys. All right,
We voted on that, right?
yeah. 9L.
Is she on?
Next up, we have IT Director Cooper.
Control is on if he says it there.
Did we vote on it? Okay. Is she on there? Can you unmute her, please? Hello, Director?
Yes, sir.
Comptroller? This is Shannon Shepherd. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. So we just kind of made like a bunch of changes to our ARPA money.
I noticed.
Yes. Can you, tomorrow give us a breakdown, exactly what's remaining? And maybe get with Ali Deeb so that we can have for that next Tuesday's meeting that Councilman Saab's not going to attend. He'll be out of town. Can you have
Yes, I
that?
can have that for you.
Can you have those numbers, bring it before us? And also have it so that we're showing that which employees are being included and not included. And then also on one of them, I believe in the discussion, and really it come down to this body, it does not include our clerk who worked as a union employee before becoming elected in 2021. In 2020, she was an employee. And so she wants to know if she's eligible for that $1,000 as well. Please, nothing from the audience. So please, this is obviously gonna come before that body, make that $1,000 decision for our clerk. I can tell you I'm 100% in support of it, but it's gonna be at least 4 or more to make that approved. But please just add that to the list, maybe with a highlighted area with the clerk is on there, so that this body can make that decision, because it does say no elected official, but she was technically an employee before she was the elected official and while she was working here during COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, there
I
was
just
never a
wanted to
collapse
ask,
in
so
her employment.
The HR director said that he had given you all of the information with the final numbers. Is the clerk the only one that you have a discrepancy on?
Correct.
Okay.
And the clerk has, nothing really has technically been approved. This body will make that discussion with seeing the clerk on there.
Okay, so you do have the list then? It's
I have the
you just
list,
want clerk.
but not with the clerk on there.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Shannon. All right, any other discussion? Thank you. You're good to go, Shannon. Next up, we have, thank you. Next up, we have IT Director Cooper, dual hardware funding modifications.
Council Chair.
Councilman?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the amendment of the payment method for the dual hardware tokens as previously approved by Council Motion 24-459. The funding will be changed from account number 101-258-728-001 for a cost not to exceed $14,913 to the use of American Express points for a cost not to exceed $7,953 as outlined in 9-L.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. You're welcome. Next up, we have ordinance and resolution, Treasurer Hicks Clay, Treasurer's Office, additional position resolution.
Council Chair.
Councilwoman Breyer.
I'll make the motion that the Dearborn Heights City Council authorize the Treasurer Department Administrator position to be an appointment of the city elected Treasurer Lisa Hicks Clayton or other elected treasurers exempt from the civil services process, similar to the elected mayor, chief of staff, under the same or similar legislative authority. This appointment will be subject to mandatory reappointment every 2 years by the elected treasurer or on or before March 1st, the first and third year of the treasurer-elect. In addition, authorize the comptroller to amend the treasurer budget, transfer $60 from the city general fund to account 101-253-706.000. Authorize the human resources director to process the treasurer department administrator appointment pending Treasurer Lisa Hicks Clayton letter of appointment. Further approve the city treasurer Lisa Hicks Clayton request and adopt this resolution terms and conditions. Further authorize her to make the appointment in writing as outlined in 11A.
Support.
Motion made by Councilwoman Breyer, seconded by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell. Any discussion? Hang on, Madam Treasurer. I do want to talk about this. I know that we said some of this money is coming from our water fund. I can tell you that's a big X for me. Take it from anywhere else you want. Take it from ARPA. Take it from saving out on the $100,000 of the minimum $1,500 spent. Do not touch the water because I am 100% against anything, even if it says it only raises it $3. You're not going to get a yes out of me on that one. You're not going to get a yes from any fixed income resident. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the one. I don't care if it raises it a penny. Because I said it in the same exact chamber where they said it's only going to be 5% increase. It's only going to go up like $5-6 a month. That's only going to go up $5-6 a month. Next second I know we're up $100. I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to finding money to be able to say we're going to use the water fund and we have money in the water fund, it's untouched. That water fund is not to be touched. That is at least where I stand on that. That is number one. Number two, ultimately, if this is a position that you think you need, we are not treasurers. The administration is not the treasurer. The chief of staff does not oversee you. I don't oversee you. Nobody in the city oversees the treasurer's department. You can ask for requests from the corporation council. You can ask for support from the council. At the end of the day, you are your own entity. And so I know that you have felt like, and I've had these discussions with you, that a lot of people are overstepping their boundaries. And it's on you as the treasurer-elect, to say, hey, that is not your role. You do not have any say. Just say, I'll tell you right now, the clerk and her staff does a very good job at holding their ground. Nobody's going to overstep their boundaries. And if that is happening to you, I am sorry. But if you're saying you need additional assistance, to me, you know, I got some emails from your department today. 2, not 1, but 2. So it makes it very difficult from where 2 of your employees who are union and said, no, we are fully staffed. We do not need this. You know, that also makes it difficult, but I want to hear from you, but I want you to know, as much as you tell me that it's not going to raise the money on the water fund, I do not want any money from the water fund to be used. I'd rather that money go back to residents. Instead of us saying we're going to use $3 here and $60,000 there. That's all I have to understand. I'm going to hear from the treasurer first. And then I'm going to take it to you because she stood up and I spoke before.
That is one of the goals of this, is to actually take a look at that water budget and how to reduce that. Because again, when I talk about in the treasurer's office, you have many functions. It's about appropriations, how our payroll is being paid, right? So say 40% of our work is for tax, and this much is for water, this much is for general. That is what we're talking about. We're not talking about actually like raising money or raising a fee. We're talking about appropriate or properly appropriating funds. That's what we're talking about. That's why I gave you a breakdown of the 1% admin fee as an example. $970,000 that you're levying, we are levying on the taxpayers each year, but you've got over $200,000 that's not appropriated. Where is that going? How's that being spent? What I wanted to say is yes, needed to assistance, yes. Regarding the staffing concerns, they don't necessarily understand what is needed because they do have certain jobs that they have to focus on, which are daily operations. They don't consider the internal controls. In fact, when I bring forward internal control policies, I usually get a lot of hemming and hawing and, objection every time, right? Because it's something that's changed. They may not understand it. All due respect to them. I appreciate our staff greatly, but this is not their area of what they specialize in. When you mentioned about reporting to council and overstepping boundaries, I've talked about this, and anybody who knows, this is like almost a daily occurrence, right? There's always somebody testing, and I do stand my ground. I take a lot of heat every day almost about somebody wanting to tell me they have oversight of a contract. No, you do not. It's a Treasury thing. The Treasurer's independent, standalone, just like Madam Clerk, okay, just like the mayor. We have our responsibilities as elected officials, as administrators for the city, is clearly defined in the city charter. I should not have to continue to battle that all the time, quite frankly. I will also, and I hate to even say this, but last week, I'm going to tell you, I went to see my very ill mother, and even when I'm gone and planned everything, I'm always getting phone calls. Always. There's always something every time I'm out of the office, and that's something that we need to talk about, is that, and I've been addressing that. Even last week, for 2 hours, I was gone, and clearly an objective that was given was disobeyed, clearly, and became an issue in our office. So, yes, and like I said, when I shared with you all, and residents, this is public information. If you'd like to see it, I'm happy to share it with you. I'm very transparent. But I just said about the $1,500 and less checks, that review process, are those vendors verified? Okay, that's a lot of money that you, as a council, do not have oversight of. You do not.
Oh, trust me, you brought something to our attention. There's
Yeah.
going to be a new resolution
That's a lot of money, folks. But I'm talking about refining this department, which I've continuously done since day one, right? Because a lot of things had to be changed in that department. And it's not perfect, but we're certainly working to make it good. But it's about improving and making sure our residents have the best Treasury office they can. It's very important. So yes, I'm asking for your support on this item.
Council Chair.
Councilman?
Number one, we can't just bypass civil service and say this will be that's number one. Number two, we have a deputy treasurer who's very experienced. Number three, I first heard the treasurer say that would come out of the 1% administrative fee. So what if 1 year the council doesn't approve the 1% administrative fee, which has happened in the past? I mean, there's ways to address this, but to independently, have somebody to hand pick, we just heard about the contract to collect the personal property taxes. The city attorney brought up some good points, some things that have to be addressed. So it's, things are working fine when you can work with people. That's all I have
Mr.
to
Chair,
say.
may I comment? May I answer those questions?
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So regarding the civil service test, this is not a first thing where there is somebody who has not been appointed. You have the mayor's chief of staff doesn't have civil service test. So it's not like it's a precedent. Okay, so that's the first thing. The 1% admin fee, let me go back to that. You make a really great point, and I absolutely agree with you. In fact, that $200,000, if it's not used, right, then the next year, y'all should be dropping that 1% admin fee down. And that would be my recommendation. That's why it needs to be tracked as well, which it is not. Like I said, it is not in your expenditures, except for under this, covering the assessor's office, board review, and my percentage as treasurer for tax-related items. It's restricted funds. So that leftover money of $200,000, for example, why is it not being used to reduce the 1% the following tax year? Just like we did with Act 345 when there was extra money, right? Remember that? We reduced it for y'all, for all our residents. We brought it down because there was money. And that was in the Plant Moran audit, by the way. So it's there.
In the past, the deputy treasurer has done a good job of apportioning the taxes, like for the TIFA, what gets sent back to the TIFA district and so forth. And she has a lot of experience doing that. You say you need this new administrator to do that?
That's not the same job. It has nothing to do with what the deputy does. The deputy is operational. Her responsibilities include balancing the cashiers daily, the deposits, and tax district collection and distribution, right? The tax rolls, as well, along as I support that as well. And it's not an administrative function. I would not put that on her, quite frankly. She has enough to do. And I certainly have enough doing administrative and daily
I've,
operational.
you know,
It's a
seen her
matter of
doing it
opinion.
and
I respect
mailing out
that.
the checks.
I'm sorry?
I've seen her doing it and mailing out the checks.
There's only one check and it goes to Taylor School District. So it's actually a wire, which I have to go through and approve, and I do the other wire. So it is part of the tax distribution, which is what I said, and that's a daily, not daily, but it's every 15 days by state law, and it's operational, not administrative. All due respect, sir.
Council Chair.
Councilman.
Thank you, Council Chair. I'm sorry, Madam Treasurer, I'm still kind of confused exactly on what's this position going to do. You're saying they need to track the money in the water fund?
We need to take a look at how that is the entire, like, I know Mr. Chair had talked about internal audit and controls. That needs to get
And
done.
we're still
We could
working
get
on
it
that,
done
Bob.
this way. We could look at your water.
But shouldn't be that under the Controller's department, since she handled the water billing?
Well, we are the receiving end, so even though that is her department, yes, you are correct. But I think we need to take a look, and if we can find this to save funds for people, for the water rate, because the administration will come to you again for a rate increase, I'm sure. Are you prepared to do that? I want to find a way not to do that. And I think it's possible, especially considering we've got over, and I don't want to get off on tangents, but we have over $13 million invested that are water funds that are restricted. When I became treasurer in 2020, it was like maybe 2 or 3 million. Think about that, 13 million. That's a lot. And that doesn't include what's already in the bank accounts. We got two. Then we got the Chase Water for operations, and then we have the lockbox through Comerica.
Council Chair?
Yes.
After we were cited by the state of Michigan, the Treasurer's Office stopped reconciling the bank accounts, and that's not now being done by the Comptroller's Office, correct?
It is correct because Plant Moran said it was a conflict of interest. Because we do the work, right? The Treasurer's Office does the bank work. We should not be reconciling our own work or reviewing it for them. That's a check and balance, right? That's really what the Comptroller and Treasurer's Office, a key component is check and balance. So
In our
that's what they should
city
do.
form of government, we have an elected treasurer, like, for example, Dearborn does not.
Yep.
Or City of Detroit does not.
I started doing the reconciliations because they weren't getting done. They weren't getting done, and now the Comptroller's Office is doing it. Yeah, and they're catching up on that. And I believe Plant Moran has been helping them quite a bit, and we appreciate that.
You all set, Councilman?
All set.
Any more questions from anybody? I mean,
Council.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, you know, I started looking at things, in the last 20 years, we've had 3 treasurers, and I personally spoke with 2 of them. 2 out of the 3, I didn't get a chance to get a hold of the 3rd one, and there definitely is a need for this position. They both expressed it, and were very strong in expressing it. If the money is there with the 1% admin fee, it should be a no-brainer. The money's not going to go anywhere anyways, and if we can use it to help our city and make us look better by being more organized and up to date on things, I think that's the best thing to do at this point in time. In 2 years, it may be different. Maybe once they catch up, we may not need this position.
Yeah,
At this point in time, I think we need it.
Thank you. And I want you to note, if you read the resolution, it's not even about me. It says treasurer or treasurer-elect or whoever that person is, because it's built in to be whoever your treasurer is and what the need of that office is. And it is about being the best department that the residents of this community deserves.
Council Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam. You
Council.
all set, Councilman?
I was going to say, in the last 61 years since we've been a city, we've went through a lot of changes, and the process is not as simple as it used to be. And I think some of it has gotten behind because it could be overwhelming. You keep adding to it. So that's another reason I think this is necessary, at least this point in time. Down the road, it may not be.
Correct.
Council Chair
What's up?
Pro Tem.
Mr. Fernández, go.
Thank you. Council Chair Pro Tem, I have not seen any data from our controllers, our accountants, our auditors to support such a resolution as this, which I think violates the charter, number one, but number two, it really is,
Point of
and if
order,
you keep
please.
interrupting me, sir, please let me, I don't disrespect you.
Shh, please.
But it's really, it's needs to be tabled. It can be looked at. I know when we voted last time to have a resolution passed for that 5% on the pension board, next day the pension board said we couldn't do it. We didn't have any actuarial reports when we made that resolution and passed it. And the law, it says that after an actuarial report is passed, you then have to wait 7 days before you vote. We didn't, we acted impromptu, and I don't want us to act impromptu on this. We have not had Plant Moran, our accountants, our auditors review this. We have not had our controller to see the need for this position. And is it a position or is it a new department? And if it's a new department, is the person violating the civil service as was raised correctly? And we don't have the data in front of us. All we do have is Madam Treasurer, and I respect Madam Treasurer. I know her, she's acting in good faith, and she cares about the city, and I know she's going forward with something that's needed. But when people in her own department say, wait a second, we don't need this, that raises doubt, and it needs us to look into it further. And that says, internally, they're saying, let's look at this. Don't jump the gun. Don't make a hasty decision.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. I do agree. I do share the same concern. Maybe if we can hear from, if you don't mind, Council Chair, from the comptroller.
Well, I think, I just wanted to add, I was thinking about this while I was using the restroom quickly. I was just thinking, to be who we really truly want to be, we also need an actuary report. Because at the end of the day, we've questioned the mayor many times, and I'm not going to stand before you and be a phony. I've asked the mayor many times, I want an actuary report. He brought 4 positions before us, and every single one of us gave him a hard time and said, we want an actuary report. And just because I respect and admire and appreciate the treasurer does not mean that I'm going to hold the mayor accountable on something and not the treasurer.
Sure.
So to me, this is an equal playing ground. And we're saying everybody must come before us, get an actuary report, making sure that the city can actually afford this. Does this position come with, benefits? Is there longevity? Is there, what else? What expenses? What does this person come with? Like this position we know nothing of. And I appreciate you bringing it before us because you did the right thing.
Right.
In the past, other people were just created positions.
And there still are positions in the city that were created that you never approved. I want to thank you for noting that, by the way. I'm doing it the right way.
You are, but we
Bringing
need
it
an
before you
actuary
all.
report.
And by the way, as far as all due respect, Roger, the comptroller does not have oversight of this decision. It's clearly in the charter that what the treasurer's position would be.
And I agree with you.
And again, that's an example of overstep attempt.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, too many times, Roger. Too many times the administration feels like they can step all over this treasurer. It's not okay. I'm going to tell you, it is not acceptable. Treasurer, 100%, like I always say to our clerk, I have your back. There's only so much that I can do. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to tell you right now, by the grace of God, if anybody at any point is overstepping their boundary with you, you have the capacity to, call the police. You have the capacity to contact your special legal counsel.
Unfortunately.
You have the capacity to send it and put it in writing to our HR department, and if they've done nothing, it is on you. Call the media, call them and say, these people are overstepping their boundary.
I've had to do that just
Not
even
okay.
last week, you remember.
I can tell you, the public loves you. This community loves you,
And I
but
love
we
them.
want to make
Thank
sure that
you.
we're following in the right direction.
And I agree with you on the actual report. If you want to, how you want to do that, if you want to table it, let me refer it back to me so we can get that report. I think that's absolutely correct. If I was a council member, I would be asking for the same thing, by the way. So.
Council Chair.
Thank you so much. So I would like
Chair.
to see this tabled. Councilwoman Breyer and second by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell. Would you guys like to table this?
I'd like to refer it back to the
Yep, okay, we're going to refer this back to the Treasury Department. Motion made by Councilwoman Breyer. Are you okay with this?
Yes.
Seconded by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, Treasurer, I don't want to pass anything, but I also don't want to spend the next 10 days on this. Thank you. Next up, we have Library Director McCaffrey, Caroline Kennedy Library Room Dedication Resolution.
Council Chair.
Councilman
Constant.
Ahmad. I'll give you the second, Councilman.
I'll move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the following resolution. Whereas Emmy and Raymond Peck have been working as dedicated volunteers for 40 years in the selfless cause of community literacy. whereas Emmy and Raymond Peck have helped the library through more than a few crises. Therefore, Study Room 2 at Caroline Kennedy Library will be known in the future as the Emmy and Ray Peck Meeting Room as outlined in 11-B.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion on this?
Council Chair,
Councilman Ahmad?
this is truly outstanding and very nice from the director. Thank you for bringing this forward. And we do thank him for their 40 years of volunteering for the community. And that's the least we could do, to be honest with you. So thank you very much for Emmy and Ray Peck, and thank you for bringing this forward.
40 years of service. I mean,
Thank you.
This is true public service. Thank you very much. Please. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is new business. Business license renewal, Saad Auto Parts, Inc.
Council Chair,
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license renewal for Saad Auto Parts, Inc. at 25620 Van Born as outlined in 13-A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion?
Council Chair?
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Breyer?
I was under the impression that they were not to have more than 12 vehicles at a time.
Okay,
And the last time I drove by, about 3 days ago, there were over 20.
okay.
So I don't know that they're abiding by what we agreed to give them.
Did you contact them? Contact the city? Contact Roger? Contact ordinance? Contact anybody?
No, I just noticed.
Okay. I want you to know, I spoke today with our Director of Ordinance. Well, actually, I spoke with Mr. Watland, Eric Watland, bless you. And he said, Mo, the city ordinance states if they are not up to date on their taxes and on their water, and I'm not saying this is the right thing, but this is where our current ordinance stands legally. Correct. But currently, it stands, your water bill's not paid, your taxes are not paid, you can't get a renewal of a license. If you have blight, if you have other things, those are things fines that need to be enforced by our ordinance department, our administration, our corporation council, maybe changing things. I'm not saying no ands and buts about it. Wherever you guys stand on this, I support. The reality is you're also opening yourself up for litigation. So, I respect the councilwoman for bringing that up, and I know Councilman Wenzel, who's not here today, has brought this up many times. What are we doing about it? I can tell you right now, you can check my call logs today, or my emails from today. Anytime there's an issue going on in the city, I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling our ordinance director, I'm sending him an email, I'm calling our police chief, hey, we need a stop sign. I'm calling constantly on the phone, I'm constantly bothering our directors. I know, but we're the set of eyes and ears. But I'm just putting that out there for clarity. I'm not saying it's okay. I do recall standing here with Councilwoman Breyer and saying, and Councilman Saab, and saying, do not have more than 12 cars, and they said, you got it. I was here. So for that reason, and I trust the judgment of our Councilwoman Breyer, that I'm not going to support this today, because that individual that stood here agreed after we made sacrifices for him. And we said, you've never had a business license. He was actually,
Right.
he was purchased an auto collision shop, mechanic shop, without an actual license. Well, we made that extension for him and that company. That company has not respected us by saying we do not want more than 12 cars. And he gave me his word. He gave former Councilman Dave Abdullah his word. So coming before us today and saying, don't worry about it, the council ain't going to do nothing about it. Well, and I hope if our directors can hear us, you're going to enforce this, that we are saying it's not acceptable. That is at least where I stand.
Do you for vote?
Council Chair, I think, you bring some points. If you want, we can just table this till next time, let the ordinance department do their work, and then we take it from there.
It's been 4 weeks. Yeah.
I believe the license does not, it's good through January 25th.
Okay.
Council Chair?
Good, we'll have a meeting before then. But why are we still dealing with that though? Like, why are we telling people, well, we're threatening you? Like, why are people just not following the law?
Council Chair.
Let's just put it back on the 14th, but make sure to tell them this is exactly what's going on.
You want me to call him? I mean, they,
Or send them a letter.
we did reach out to ordinance.
Hang on one
Okay,
second.
there is an open enforcement. And I know that one of the ordinance officer was supposed to go out there
But he
this
was out of
week
town.
seeking more information
Yeah.
with regard to the site plan. So I know that they were.
I mean, to the Director Judicial as well, respectfully.
That's where I got it.
Respectfully, Director Judicial, 2 weeks ago, we did the same thing to this person. What have we done in those 2 weeks? I'd love to hear from him on that.
Council Chair.
I'd like to hear from the Director Judicial first.
Okay. I will.
He's online.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's up there. I just asked him. I think he just unmuted.
Can you hear me, Council Chair?
Yes, sir, I can.
Just so you're aware, I was waiting for this to come up. There is an open enforcement on the property, Madam Clerk is correct. We are waiting for the site plan. I know that several of you have said that they were supposed to be limited to 12 cars. Just trying to confirm that. We had an inspection out there before. There appeared to be some issues, but the site plans are secured in the basement. So I've requested access to those documents, just so you're aware.
Council Chair.
Can you give me a time frame, Director Dishoom? It's been 2 weeks. How much more longer do you need?
I can't, I don't have access to the documents. I'm hoping that I can get those, hopefully before the end of the week. So by the time this comes up again, hopefully we'll have resolution on this.
Director,
I apologize, but go ahead.
Nothing, Roger, please, hang on. Director, can you do me a favor as the Director for the Ordinance Department? And this is an ask, it's obviously not an order because I'm not your boss, but my ask to you is, can you drive there tomorrow as the Director and give us your true, assumption and analyzing what the place looks like and if you would want that in front of your house? Because I can tell you right now, from what the councilwoman is saying, it's clearly blight. Councilman Wenzel said it, Councilwoman Breyer said it. Why don't you take a ride over there and you might not even need site plans. Take a look at it for yourself. Just give the judgment. We trust you.
Fair enough.
Fair?
I will do that.
Yeah, send us pictures too.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilman Saab.
Council Chair, to be honest with you, for this business, and this business in particular, I'd like to see the owner here when his license comes up forward. Because he was walking out and I told him, Mr. Saad, my exact words to him, please do not disappoint us and break the 12-car rule. We're making an exception for you. And he said, yes, sir. So I would like to see him here at the council for me to vote on this, or no matter what happens, I'm going to keep voting no.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I don't know if he's going to show up, but.
Well, if he wants his business in the city of Dearborn Heights and he's going to abide by the rules, he needs to show up.
All right. Well, would you guys like to table this?
I would like to table this till January 14th.
Thank you. Motion to table this by Councilman Ahmad. Councilman Constant, will you second that?
Second, yes.
Second by Councilman Constant. To table this, we've tabled a lot today. Wow.
And Council Chair, with this being tabled on the 14th, we give him enough notice.
It's a holiday season. We're feeling.
All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is 13B, temporary food truck cart license renewal for application for Burgerati.
Council Chair.
Councilman.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the temporary food truck cart license renewal application for Burgerati as outlined in 13B.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion?
Council Chair,
Councilwoman?
guess you know how I feel about this. I personally have not spoke to the owners of the businesses. I know they got something personal going on, but I do know, I did speak to several people at Wayne County who are involved in this, and there are concerns. There is an investigation. And I don't want them to go without a license, but after the investigation is done, if they find out they indeed did dump grease down there and
Or did not, either one.
well, they told me on the phone they did, and I had a witness that heard it too. So they are still saying there was grease dumped down there. They are 100% sure on that. I just want to see the end result of the investigation, and I'll approve it today. But if the investigation comes back and there's some concerns, I may bring it back to council.
Absolutely. You said they gave it to you officially, they said there was, and it was from them? Can you get that in writing?
They're getting it to me right now. So I will possibly bring this back when I get that. The process is slow getting it, okay?
Who did you speak to within Wayne County, if you don't mind me asking?
Several people.
I know, who?
I'm not going to say it publicly because I don't want them to
Probably
be
the
strong.
Health Department?
Huh?
The Health Department.
I talked to several different departments, but it's okay. Let's pass this today. And if what they're telling me is true and I get it in writing, then it may take a different turn. But
And if it doesn't come in
It
true-
won't come back.
Well, I
You
mean,
can't say that and I can't say it, but I do know that I heard them tell me, not once, but I've been told it a couple times over the phone and by different people.
and they were able to specify exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
And they said 100% they have proof
They
that
went down in the drain.
came from, didn't come from anywhere else. Yeah, there's no other way of any other business can
Well,
find the
let's wait
drain
for
in
the
it.
paperwork and we'll take it from there.
And I believe you, I'm just
Because I
asking
don't
this
want to
question.
hurt this business at this point.
I mean, I
want
think
them
we've
to be
already
able to
done a lot of
operate.
damages to this business.
Amen, that's right.
I mean, that is my
Council
opinion.
Chair.
Councilman Saab.
Council Chair, so with respect to Councilwoman Maxwell, you know, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. You can't make the
100%.
assumption that a business is guilty of something when by hearsay, he say, unless there's proof and evidence that's brought forward to us. And I assure you that if the county, the city, any board, the state comes forward and says, here, this business or that business dumped something here, I'll be the first one to bring it back and revoke their license.
Right.
And charge
But like I
And
said,
charge
at
them.
this
But
time,
But he said, she said to.
at this,
I agree, Council.
Council Chair, at this date and time, I don't think the county has any reason to lie about anything. I mean, that's why I went to them and out of respect. I didn't want to get involved in whatever's going on between the businesses over there. That's their own personal thing. It's not to do with us.
And again, I respect your view and your opinion on it and everything, but I truly believe that once we have the fiscal paperwork in our hand, we'll make a decisive
Right, like I
decision
said,
then. But until right now,
I would recommend we do renew it today, though.
I have a motion on the table to renew this businesses who I've never honestly had the chance to
See, I
actually
don't-
stop by and eat or know the owners. It's on the table and let's take a vote on it.
Any other discussion?
This is not up for discussion right now. We're taking a vote.
It is up for discussion.
Oh, I'm on the council.
Yeah, she's having a discussion with me.
Oh,
Is that
who's the owner? Who?
Yeah, I believe that is the owner, which is not related to me, not my friend, nothing. Just want to make that very clear. This person is not related to me, nor am I my friend.
You? Oh, you? Okay, come on up. That's all to say?
You want to speak?
There's no reason to if we're going to
Go ahead.
pass it.
Yes, Councilwoman wants to talk.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about this guy.
No.
Please state your name.
Hang on one second, Councilman. I got it. You don't need to state your name. You're with Burgerati. And all I ask is that you keep it extremely respectful and no attacks.
No, at all. It's my first time speaking in front of people, so first of all, I really appreciate all the work you guys do for the city. I'm doing my best to support my city. By the way, I live in Dearborn Heights in the last 6 years, so I'm already member of the Dearborn Heights. And the second is, it's being brought up every time that I need to renew my license. There is already problem comes, like I did that, I do that, and there is million of report goes to the health department, and I have all of them denied from the health department inspection when they come for the oil, for the trash around the area, breaking the parking lot. All of this complaint has been closed and dismissed because there's
Do you
no
have
any
proof of it?
violation. Yep.
Can you email me it?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
And it's already public information on the health department already, like it says, it's denied. And even there is a lot of police reports, even the police came 3 times to me, which is, I don't know what he's doing. And even he says, it's not my job to come here, but I gotta come because I have a report of you. I'm the only, there is 10 different food trucks in the area, I'm the only one having this issue, which is, I know, but I don't need to say from who and why, but I'm trying to just get end of this. It's just my family business and this is my startup business and I wish I can find a place to open in Dearborn Heights, but as you guys know, there is no stores available to be rent or buy in Dearborn Heights. All of them is already being took. So
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. That's all the thing I need to say.
Thank you, sir.
Any, Councilwoman Breyer, anything?
No, I noticed he wanted to speak.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor to approve Bergarati temporary food truck tent license, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Good luck.
The ayes have it, motion carries. Young man in the back opposed.
Future councilman.
Yes. Next up, we have the business license renewal for Bellagio Banquet LLC.
Council Chair,
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the business license renewal for Bellagio Banquet LLC at 23900 West Warren as outlined in 13-C.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, second by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have comments from council members.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
First and foremost, I want to give a moment of silence. We had a police officer today, the city yesterday. His mom passed away, Officer Mazloum. My condolences go out to him and his family. Thank you. Council Chair, I want to bring up an email a few weeks ago, at the last two council meetings ago. An issue about an email was brought up. I'd like to put this on the record and clarify this. I gave everybody an email of FOIA requested about Councilwoman Nancy Breyer's email, that she was upset that I did not include her on an email. I filed a request, a FOIA, which we don't have to file FOIAs, but I filed one for the beam. I've emailed Councilwoman Breyer probably over 200 times, 250 times. I have never received one response from her. One email that had to do with the city administration and Mr. Deeb. She came at the meeting and went after me saying I disrespected her, that I did not include her in the email. But when I requested the FOIA, and then I asked for records of her logging in or updates that have been done to her computer. In the past 120 days, she had not logged in once. She has not accessed her email, and no updates have been done on her laptop or tablet that the city provided her with. So my thing about this is that when we do something to hold the administration accountable, and we get the mayor or whoever is giving her this information to come after us and tell us, hey, you're disrespecting me, I can't believe you just sent me an email. I mean, Council Chair, you're in charge of this body here as the Council Chair. I'd like every single person for you to ask that every person has to bring their tablet into City Council. Because from what I'm hearing, somebody else has their tablet.
No.
Look, you want me to give you my opinion on this?
Yes.
Respectfully, Councilwoman Breyer may not know how to access her emails.
Then she shouldn't be,
Well, hang on, Councilman. That's not, you asked me for my opinion, and I know what she did, the way she called you out was unacceptable. Right, let me tell you guys something. A negative plus a negative does not equal to a positive. It seems like, you were obviously offended and you wanted to put your foot down and make it clear that you've emailed her several times and the reason why you did not add her back to this email. And this is, I think, a discussion that really could have happened silently between you and the councilwoman. But it's your given duty and right. I want you to know that on this council and on this chamber, I think I spoke with, almost all of you guys, and I'm trying to ask us all to just spread gratitude, spread a little bit of love and good energy. And I know that's not where you're coming from, but you really wanted to make your point tonight. And to me, I think our true point, especially in the time of the holidays, spread a little bit of love and gratitude. But that's who I am as a person. And I know that's who you are and want to be. But I think this really bothered the two of you guys, and I think you two need to pick up the phone and have a good conference call and kind of let it out. I've had many conversations with Councilwoman Breyer where I've picked up the phone and I've said, Councilwoman, did I do something to you? Why are you making these faces or whatever they may be? And we laughed. And she says, oh, you're my kiddo, and, I take it. But I think ultimately you two should have these conversations and kind of, iron this out. Because I know truly you two love each other.
Council Chair. To be honest with you, this is not about putting my foot down or anything. This is about accountability and standing up for what's the residents. When I send an email requesting information that's in the best interest of the public, and then I get bashed for not including her in an email, how would she know that email was sent if she doesn't have access to her email?
That's a great question.
Thank you. And that was my point. And we'll put that one to the second. And then here on, I want to wish everybody happy holidays. I wish you and your families, here comes the gratitude. You and your families have a great, safe, and prosperous holiday. Hopefully the warm weather would stay. Today, my motion that I add on with the ARPA money, for the past 3 years that this money's been allocated for the city from the federal government, we've been honestly lied to, told that this is restricted funds, can't be used for this, can't be used for that, it can only be used for the streets. I don't know why we waited for the last second to do this when departments in our city are so desperate for equipment, so desperate for upgrading. And I had to go out of my way to reach out to the Department of Treasury to get information when the administration hired a company called BLN to give us such how to spend money, and they bluntly lied about it. And this money, you guys wait until the last hour on the clock to say, here, we either use it on the streets or we're going to lose it. This money could have been spent in so much better ways, enhancing our departments, enhancing our police department, enhancing our fire department. Like, for example, our dispatch center, or all that. This money could have been used for all that. But at the end of the day, we were told this is restricted funds. You can't use it. And I'm glad we did, and I'm glad it passed today because it's gladly needed, and it's going to enhance city services quite a bit. And
Anything else, Councilman?
that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilman?
Council Chair.
Councilman?
Thank you, Council Chair. And thank you, Councilman Saab, for bringing the motion forward. That was a great resolution. And you're right, we wasted a lot of money, wasted a lot of time, and hopefully we didn't waste the money. I also would like to send my sincere condolences to Sergeant Mazloum and his family for the passing of his mom. I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays, happy new year. And finally, I came along across an article. I believe that Chief Swope won't be with us anymore. I guess he took a job somewhere else. So I want to thank him for the service that he gave Dearborn Heights, and I wish him best wishes for your future endeavors. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Councilman. I'll go next here. Today, March the day, 12/10/1953, my father was born. He's 71 years old today. He wasn't born, well, he was born in 53. Today's not that date, but today we're in the year of 2024. Really a great pious man. Really, I know he was actually, I was not able to attend his birthday celebration with my family because, you know, sometimes people forget. We set aside things that we love and cherish to come back and give back to our community. So when I was kind of speaking a little bit to Councilman Saab, and I know he was truly frustrated, and so was Councilwoman Breyer, keep in mind that the things that we do, the sacrifices we make, sometimes makes us somewhat emotional or, you know, very upsetting. I can tell you when my son asked me today and said, "Val, you're not going to come with us to Jiddo's birthday." I said, "No, I got to go. I have to go to that council meeting." He actually called me so annoying. I didn't expect a 3-year-old to be calling me annoying, but you know what? It's amazing. So really happy birthday, 71st birthday to my father. He was an amazing person. I wish to be half the man he is. Secondly, I know I talked about it a little bit with Councilman Saab. I talked a little bit about here. Remember that some of us here in public service, it's not easy. Whether you're appointed, you're elected, you're in the audience, you're involved, you're engaged. Guys, it's difficult. Here we have a new resident who's been going above and beyond and praying for our city, Mrs. Renee, and I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy being Angela coming out there. I don't want to butcher her last name, but I'm still going to say Angela Verganeris, and she's going to go around riding her bike and pinpointing and saying, "I want this to be better for our city." The way of acting as public service or giving back to your community doesn't always have to be holding an elected position. And just caring for your community and for your constituents and your friends and your family is extremely difficult. So, you know, to all my colleagues here right before the holidays, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, a Happy New Year. I wish that we can continue to grow and work alongside our administration, the directors, our police, our fire. Because really, the only way Dearborn Heights is going to flourish and be the greatest city in the world is if we all unite together. I mean, I know we've been kind of going at it with each other for a little too long. But I'd love to see the Corporation Council and our clerk being able to rectify this and put an end to it and kind of seeing people and understanding that, you know, hey, you work for the mayor's office, you work for the clerk's office, you work for the treasurer's office, and you work for the city council. Well, you need to understand that. Lastly, to Officer Sergeant Mazloom, who just lost his mother, his brother Hassan, his brother Ali, my heart is with you guys. Losing a mother, you know, I pray every day before I go to bed that my parents are healthy and they live up to another 100 years, because losing a mother is something I do not want to experience. And seeing them at their hardest today or yesterday, I can tell you, was so heartbreaking. And so my heart is with them, as well as their sister Huda and their sister, I know her, Susu, Isra. So really, my heart is with them, truly.
Amen.
Amen. And then lastly, Chief Swope, I see he also, I saw it online that he got a new position. I actually gave him a call and I said, Chief, man, you're leaving us. And he said, I am. And he said, you know, there's been a lot going on, and he really took the high road on this and said, for the greater good of Dearborn Heights, maybe it's best that I leave and Dearborn Heights figures out truly what they want and they need, and a lot of problems go away. And that was our conversation with him and I. I can tell you that, yeah, we've also seen a little hardship, but I truly believe this man cared. He cared about his officers and he cared about Dearborn Heights. Probably not many things can be moved around, but thank you. I know South Haven is going to do great things for you out there, and you're going to serve them very well. 26 years in law enforcement. To me, my hat goes out to you and anybody that serves as a police officer. So congratulations to you and all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Council Chair.
Councilman Constant.
Thank you. And I'd like to also wish everyone happy holidays. I was sad to see the news that our chief, Swope, is going to another city. Good luck. I know you'll do a good job. You did a good job here. And I'm pleased to see or hear that there is a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. Israel has stopped for now bombing Lebanon.
Now it's not.
And my next sentence out of my mouth was going to be that what I read in Al Jazeera and other places, there's a lot of violations of that. But that it was done to give the new incoming president something an arrow in his quiver to say he did a good job. I mean, that's just reprehensible. I know we're all praying for a permanent ceasefire and for peace in the Middle East.
Thank you, Councilman.
And my respects to Sergeant Mazoom in the loss of his mother.
Thank you. Any other council members? Seeing none, I'll take it up to administration. The staff, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, I did miss a few things when I was gone. And Councilman Ahmad and Councilman Saab, if you do have a contact of who told you that this ARPA funds can be allocated for the vehicles and infrastructure purchases, please let me know, because again, I'm getting mixed messages from our advisors with regards to the ARPA funds and the information that you're requesting for me. So for the next meeting, when we're finally going to allocate everything, if you can give me some advice so that I can rebuke the advisors that we're getting, I would appreciate it, so we can come to a final conclusion with
Actually,
regards to
the motion
this.
itself has a justification of why I'm asking for the money. You can look at it. I'll email it to you.
Today's motion?
Yes.
Okay, I'll
It's at the
take a
bottom
look
of
at
the
that.
motion. Yep. And by the way, who's our advisors?
It's BLN and Plant Moran. Sorry.
I thought-
It's BLN and Plant Moran.
I
And
thought
again,
we-
as of this week, it's still not an eligible expense. So I'm just curious as to where you're getting this information and how we can come to a conclusion with regards to how it can be spent, because I don't want to restrict funds and then end up having to lose the funds as well. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I just, question is that, didn't we eliminate the BLM contract? No? Okay, thank you.
Just hope they don't charge us for that question.
I haven't asked it, so that's why I want more information to tell them, here's what we have.
Treasurer?
Oh, good evening. I just want to remind everybody and ask you to help put the word out that our Dearborn Heights Residents Assistance Day is on Thursday, December 19th. So that's next Thursday, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Carolyn Kennedy Library, 24590 George Street. We have Wayne Metro on hand, and they're already making appointments with people to, if they're eligible for water assistance, payments with their water bills. We also have free credit counseling. Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri's office to help you set up for your real taxes if they're delinquent to avoid foreclosure, and help set up payment plans for you, as well as our very own Community Economic Development Department with a residential assistance program. So again, we just want to help get the word out about that because it's very nice. This is, I think, either our second or third year of doing this for our residents. We like to connect the dots and share resources for our residents. So if you know somebody, you do not have to be a resident to attend. In fact, I shared at a meeting last night, and people from other community are always welcome and encouraged because it's available to them. So the only other thing I wanted to ask council, this honorable body, is at the last council meeting, you had before you the SIMCOG, the Southeast Michigan Council Government appointment for delegate and alternate, and I believe you tabled it. And since that time, you were shared information directly from SIMCOG, as well as our Madam Clerk had shared some information. When the last time the council, this is a city council appointment, when you voted was 2018. It was myself as delegate and Councilman Constant as the alternate. And because that was the last vote, that stood, right? And I continued going, continue to participate, and continue to bring back information. But you were shared a document directly from SIMCOG, and you could see who filled that out and appointed was, I don't know if they did themselves or a staff member did it, but the mayor was appointed as delegate without your vote or approval, as well as, all due respect to Chief of Staff, as the alternate. So I shared that with you all, and I'm going to ask you if you would please take action, and I hope to have your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the administration? Okay, then we're going to open it up to, hang on, sir.
I didn't say nothing.
Okay, please just get away from the mic for now. Thank you. Now we're going to open up to public comments. I'm going to open it up to Zoom again.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Please, nothing from the audience. Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none?
I don't see him.
Next up, we'll open it up to the audience. The little young man wants to go. You sure you want to go before him? Let the young man go first.
Thank you for the insults, Council Chair.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
You have 3
insult from
minutes.
you
Please
is a good
state your
insult.
name and city you reside in.
Hassan Ayun. I just want to say, first of all, the chief has served this Dearborn Heights as a good thing. Thank you, Chief. I wish you the best. Maybe one day I'll come to visit you. Anyways, the ARPA funds, I sent you an email regarding the ARPA funds, those ARPA funds, and I got a response from you, Mr. Boydu, and thank you very much for sending it. There's an article that Detroit has got ARPA funds. They bought a helicopter. They bought cars. Guys, you guys can get a bond to get all the other stuff allocated, but you can't get a bond to buy cars. And just to let everybody know, 3 years ago, there was money allocated. What did you do with the money that Zohair Abdel Haq put a motion to get the 911 upgraded? Why isn't it upgraded? Where's the money? $600,000. So that Joey Smith, dead on arrival. Why? No action. And let me ask you one question. This is what bothers me. Ali Deeb, his hands is everywhere.
Hey.
Hold on. I am asking.
Hold on. I'm going to let you speak. I'm not going to stop your time. All I'm going to ask you to do is refrain from using any type of damaging towards any reputation or.
I'm not threatening nobody.
That's not threatening.
Listen, this is not a threat. I can say something. He is an engineer. Let him do the engineering.
Yes. You can say
not the bidding process. You guys don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know what's going on. People are assuming things. Now, that's not a threat. When I speak about somebody doing something, like there's certain stuff that gets approved. Like, let me give you a little example. The contract for the concrete. They didn't get the bid they wanted, they took it out and they never bring it back to you. So what does that tell me? That he doesn't want the company that you guys were gonna pick, because he knew you guys are not gonna pick his company. It's very sad what's happening. And people wanna sit there and say, oh, it's okay. We can sit there and just blindside this. The problem is, these ARPA funds, I'm the one, I'm gonna tell you, I'm the one that exposed this and asked you last time, what did you say to me, Mr. Saab? I had it in my right pocket, but I didn't want to speak about it until you guys were gonna approve it, and I was gonna give it to you. But Mr. Jamal said something about it, and that's why I didn't say nothing. But I had to fire it up, and now you guys can get police cars. Public safety is more important. I asked for one more minute, remember?
That's with it.
Oh, no, it isn't. There's no way I had 4 minutes.
Yes.
No, I didn't. It's 3 minutes. We're sitting there and arguing.
How many minutes did you? Okay, give him his extra minute.
Thank you. So, ARPA funds are supposed to be used for public safety. Let me ask you something. Your dad's 71 years old. God forbid, my dad's 71. I'm going to be honest with you. And I worry if I need to call the ambulance, that they're there in seconds. Something happens. You never know. They're old. Public safety, 911 response. Why isn't that upgraded? What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with this administration? You guys are fighting and fighting, but you're not looking out for public safety. It's a problem. If I run for a position, I'm going to give you an example. If I run for a position, my main concern will be public safety. And very simple. You have to account for public safety. Please, do your thing and tell, next time come, what should you do with the money? We need to know, where is that money? You guys put money on the side for the 911. What you guys do with the money? Where's the money? Why? Please, where's the money?
Tone it down a little.
No, I'm not going to slow it down. Where's the money?
Okay, time is up.
Okay, can you answer where the money is?
The mayor's not here. The mayor's not been to a meeting in 4 meetings.
That's the council has to ask him. Well, I don't have to ask the mayor, you do.
You're asking it though.
I'm asking you to find out. It's not my responsibility to find out.
Chief of Staff is here.
Council Chair, just want to put something for the record. Mr. Oon, I don't know what you're referring to as something in your pocket you wanted to give me. I have no record of that.
No, he said he had it and he knew the answer to it in his back pocket.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't say
But you
it.
didn't say it to me directly, just clearing the record.
Sorry, just to help answer that question, I just want to clarify, every year we go through the budget process, right? So yes, the money was allocated last year for the dispatch center. This year, we didn't have enough funds to cover any capital expenses, so it was removed by the council during the budget process. So as with any budget season, any remaining funds that were unspent, they go back into the general fund. Then it's up to the council if they want to allocate funds from the general fund for any specific project that goes beyond what was already approved in the
Thank you, Chief
budget.
of Staff, but I also want to just make a quick correction. It's on the administration to give us a balanced budget, and so when they're giving us a deficit budget, we have to, make certain. But this money was allocated, not last year, but even the year before, and then it went back into the general fund. So the reality is, 2 years ago, you had the money when we supplied it through ARPA fund, but we still failed to do it.
Correct.
So it's not the council who didn't put it back in there.
No,
The cycle of
I'm
life.
just saying
Yeah.
it's there, and if we want to
It's not
grab
there.
it from the general fund.
No, it's no longer there.
So, okay, the reason the budget wasn't balanced this year is because there were incredible salary increases that kept our staffing levels at the rate that they are and allowed us to hire more people. So let's understand why the budget was out of balance this year. It was because of the negotiations.
What about the year before?
The year before, the money was there for the dispatch center.
What about the year before and the year before? Twice, because, twice we had
Correct, the money was always allocated there for
But
those
we
2
used
years.
ARPA funds to allocate that. So really,
It was not ARPA funds for the dispatch center.
100% it was ARPA funds. You put $10 million into a budget. You did. You put it into losses.
It was into the unrestricted fund. Yeah, correct. So, yes, it's in the general fund, as it always has been.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's no way of allocating whether it was or it wasn't, is what I'm trying to say. It was all put into one fund. It was all put into the general fund.
Yes, it all
Unrestricted
goes
general
into the
fund.
unrestricted
Yes.
general fund.
Thank you. Ladies
Okay.
first, sir.
Now I have to calm everybody down again. I'm Renee, Annapolis, Dearborn Heights. First of all, I want to say, I'm very proud of the city council right now. I have not had any experiences with city councils except for the last couple of months for the first time. And from things that I've heard that I needed to be at the Dearborn Heights City Council, and from the time that I heard that from the people in the Allen Park City Council, I have made it a point to pray for every one of you guys and support you guys and pray for the city and circle the city and make sure it's covered in prayer, and all the departments. And thank you for the police chief also. I have to tell you that you guys did me proud today. I mean, you guys had open discussion. And sorry if I disrespected you with a comment earlier, but I will tell you this, that it just made me proud to see how you guys worked it out, and that you guys had a clear thought of whether to pass something or not pass something, and whether we agree on the things that you passed or not. You talked it out and you got your details before you passed it, and you have your reasons for passing whatever you did. And that's what I just love to see. I love to see that you guys work together and that you figured out what are my ducks before I made a decision. And I just want to thank you for that. So thanks. Thank you.
Renee, you can come up and speak as long as you want. Stay up there. Where are you going?
Oh, I thought I was leaving.
Are you sure? You want to keep going? I mean, I still got a minute 30. Keep talking about how much you love the council.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm
No,
just kidding.
I will tell you this, though. Yeah, it seems like I got on the thing about Ms. Bergerati, but that was just something that stuck in my head that I thought, wow, there's things going on that I don't understand. And the more things that I just sat and thought about and prayed about, boy, all of a sudden it was like popcorn in my brain of what about this and what about that. So it's not necessarily about the Bergerati truck, but it's about anybody that wants to do business in Dearborn Heights, and how fair are we to these people? How fair are we, and are we looking for proof before we decide on we're going to extend their license or not? So I say I want people to come to Dearborn Heights to say, because you guys are fair in giving a license. So thanks.
You're the best. Thank you so much, ma'am. RG, you see that? She's talking about how much she loves the council.
We all love the council.
Such a fun.
Abbas Al-Wisha, Dearborn Heights.
What is it?
Abbas Al-Wisha, Dearborn Heights. I'd like to thank the chief for keeping the city and the community safe, and good luck on your future journey. With regards to the treasurer and the request for, I assume, resources or additional headcount. So I work in Rochester Hills closely with Troy in the past. I work as a community ambassador for a $40 billion company, Coke, Molex, TE Contivity, all these companies. So what I've seen over the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years, a lot of machine learning and AI play into the municipalities. And they even call their parks like Innovation Park, because it brings out new ideas, and they need, let's say, 100 head count, but they can do it with 2 people that are running machine learning and AI. I don't know if this has been thought of, but you can run a lot with AI and machine learning. And I have a certain budget as a senior global engineering manager between Germany, US, Europe, North America, and Asia. And you can run something with 40 engineers rather than 200 by using machine learning and AI to do a lot of your work. And what you can get done in 80 hours, you can get done in 40. I'm not saying we don't need the head count, but have you thought about this? Have you studied it? Have you seen other cities put that to use where you can get more done with less people? Because the last thing you want is the taxpayer to be burdened with it, but in reality, you could be paying pennies on the dollar for the software.
Mr. Al-Wisha, it's Al-Wisha, correct?
Yes.
A good friend of mine was Rudda Al-Wisha. I don't know if you know him, but I went to school.
My brother.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, and your brother's Ali?
Yes.
Your parents live right around the right, or backyards connect?
Yes.
I did not know that was your brother. Okay, great. And if you know anything, Rudda was the first man with a mustache in like 7th grade. And we always told him he was going to be the president. Very, very dear friend and brother of mine. I want you to know, and I'm not taking this as, please don't take this as an insult, but truly Dearborn Heights has been so stuck in the 60s. We just got like Microsoft Word. Like, I kid you, so like when you're talking AI, like we need, whew, like we just got Zoom. You know, our Zoom was like we were like, I want you to know, God bless our IT director. Look at him, his face is red, but he's doing, I'm telling you. I mean, we just got rid of some computers that we've had, they still had Windows 97 on it. He's laughing, but I'm telling you the honest truth. Am I right? I remember like a year ago or 2 years ago sending an email to our chief of staff and said, wow, we're finally going to get like Microsoft Windows, like, or Word. No way. I don't have to keep writing a note and transferring it to my laptop and then sending it over. It was crazy.
But I think, like, if you ask me, Troy is not far, Rochester Hills. I work with those municipalities because I serve as a community ambassador for the company I work for, and I can connect you with them. Takes a few hours, you meet with them, you're like, hey.
This is how we did it.
This is how we're doing things. How did you make the transition? What can we learn from you? It's called, in engineering world, lessons learned. And you don't have to go through trial and error and fall and then get up.
Don't reinvent the wheel, just steal the idea. I love it.
Yeah.
Council Chair, I mean, if you don't mind, if you can give your information to Georgia, I would like to probably get in contact with you and maybe sit down with them.
Coming from an engineer.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe we can bring
whatever I
Director
can
Cooper
help
along.
with, but I thought I'd give those two ideas.
Do you mind giving-
Machine learning and AI, and applying them to the duties or tasks that are needed, but you can get done more with it. I mean, I constantly challenge my engineers globally.
Amazing. I'm gonna start using AI for our corporation council. You're like, oh, I'm just kidding.
How about our council chair?
I'm just kidding, Roger. That's
kidding too.
That's good love. That's it.
That's love. That's love.
That's it. Wow. Anyone else on Zoom? Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none. Motion adjourned before 9 p.m. That's
Not motion adjourned.
Can I get it? Hold on.
There's one.
Hold on. We have one more.
I need 30 seconds, that's it.
No, take your time. Just please state your name, the city you reside in, the street
Zach
that you...
Malouf. I'm from Dearborn Heights. I'm the father of this noisy boy over there. And he's enrolled in a soccer club in Dearborn Heights. And I just want to
Wolverines.
thank you for this great opportunity you are providing for our youth. Their team, the Dearborn Heights team, won the Whistle League. They're number one. So hopefully we can get the Dearborn Heights name even higher than that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Speak.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries.